Toss of the coin, of course, Horning the Golden Boy, and Willie Wood, an 8-time Pro Bowler. The Packers are kicking off. Either Winslow, Oliver, or Michael Bates. It is Bates who lets it hit at the 12-yard line. He picks it up at the 12, runs right and gets walloped at the 14-yard line. Bernardo Harris with the tackle on special teams for the Packers. And let's give you the Carolina offense first of all. Of course, Kerry Collins in his second year from Penn State. Anthony Johnson, who had 100 yards last week against the Dallas Cowboys. Howard Griffith, the fullback. The experienced Wesley Walls, the former 49er at tight end. The tackles are Matthew Campbell and Norberto Garrido. Matt Elliott, Greg Skrepenak, the guards, and Frank Garcia, the starting center. 14-yard line is where the Panthers will start with 1st and 10. Collins going to throw on 1st down. Swings it out of the backfield, incomplete. Intended for Anthony Johnson. Here's the Green Bay defense. Their front four. Sean Jones, Gilbert Brown, Santana Dotson, and the Minister of Defense, Reggie White, across the front four. Wayne Simmons and Brian Williams, the outside backers, and a big change, the middle linebacker, Ron Cox, filling in for George Kuntz, out with a torn ACL. He's out, obviously, for the rest of the year. The corners, Craig Newsom and Doug Evans, and the safeties, Leroy Butler and former Seattle Seahawk Eugene Robinson. 2nd down and 10. The handoff to Johnson straight ahead to about the 17-yard line, maybe to the 18-yard line. He's brought down by the wide Gilbert Brown.
And that's the key. If they are going to run the football, Carolina, they've got to get Gilbert Brown blocked. And frankly, they cannot single block him. Gilbert Brown at 350 to 370 pounds, depending how many meals he ate in the last week, is just an extremely powerful player. And inside, if they can get him blocked, they have a chance. But on the first 2 plays, he's been a factor already.
Tyrone Williams and Mike Pryor in the secondary now as extra DBs for the Packers. 3rd down and 7, Carolina. Moving from left to right on your radio in the first quarter. Collins throwing the slant. It is complete for a 1st down or close to it. It looks like it is enough for a 1st down. The ball came out loose, and the Packers say they have it, but the receiver was already down.
And the official already marked the spot, and that's going to be a 1st down. And see, that's what Kerry Collins does that people forget. Now, he's a second-year player, and the game never gets bigger than him. I mean, he's always in the game. And so you get the 3rd down, you have 7 yards, you have to get it. He comes out, I mean, not even a second thought. Boom, ball comes right out. Now, the other thing about Collins is he will throw in tight coverage. He has a lot of confidence in that arm, and he's been playing with a lot of confidence as well.
He's only thrown 9 interceptions during the regular year. Threw an interception on the first series last week against Dallas. But then 3 of turnovers the rest of the way, and that was a big key. The last catch on
They're going to give this to the Green Bay Packers right now. They're debating, the officials are debating whether it was a fumble or not.
Well, Carrier was the receiver. We'll take another look at it on the replay. Carrier ran the slant inside. Oh, Willie, and that is a fumble.
He took it right out of his hands. It was Doug Evans. And they're gonna say that it wasn't a fumble, but watching the replay, Doug Evans ripped it right out of his hands. It was actually a bad call by the official because it came out before he went down.
It's been 20 games since the Packers defense has allowed an opponent to score on their opening drive. Carolina with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 26. And right now they have to be considered getting a gift. Johnson on the handoff straight ahead and turned upside down after a gain of 2 to the 28-yard line. Well, this is the 40th season of Lambeau Field, dedicated on September the 29th, 1957. And in that first game, the Packers just beat up on the Chicago Bears that day. But this has been, when you think about great home field advantages, this may be the best that it gets in the National Football League.
I would completely. I think this is, if you're going to build anything to the NFL, this is it right here. I mean, this is as good as it gets.
2nd down and 8, Carolina with 1 setback. Collins on the handoff. Johnson straight into the pile. They were shy of the 30-yard line, a gain of 2 on the play.
What they're doing, they are going to try to establish the run at that Packer defense. The Packer defense, as you look at it, Carolina is going from left to right. And so Reggie White is lined up on the left defensive side. They're not testing him at all. They are going to go after Sean Jones on the one side, who's been playing very, very well, and then Santana Dotson, who's got the lightest load in there of any of those 4 down linemen. They'll double Gilbert Brown and go at Dotson and the backer, and that's what they've been doing.
3rd down and 5 for Carolina from their own 30-yard line. One setback is Anthony Johnson. 4 receivers in the game. Packers coming after Kerry Collins. They pick the blitz up, and the pass is incomplete. Pass was intended for Mark Carrier, and the Panthers get 1 first down on that drive, and now we'll have to kick it away to the ever-dangerous Desmond Howard.
Well, and if that was any indicator of how this game will be, the Green Bay Packer defensive line didn't budge an inch. I mean, led by Gilbert Brown in the middle, they are as stout as you would expect them to be.
Ron Stark, who only had a punt once last week against Dallas, to kick it away to Desmond Howard. 3 of his last 14 punt returns have been for touchdowns, and last week he had another one for 53 yards, and Stark kicking it away from Howard, and that's going to prove to be a problem for the Panthers as it's finally down and goes out of bounds outside the 45-yard line, and the Packers will get great field position, a 24-yard kick.
Well, they're going to bring that one back, but I got to think that Green Bay will decline that penalty.
Right, there's an eligible man downfield, as Bob McElwee's call.
They have the ball at the 46-yard line. You say, forget that. We'll take it where it's at. 2 kicks. The opening kickoff was short, and then the first punt was a Shanksky. That doesn't bode well for the rest of the kicking game today.
Doesn't travel much in 3-degree weather. 17 below with the wind chill. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Grandpa, can I marry you?
Oh, honey, you're so young. I could never keep up with you.
But Mom says that's why you drink Ensure.
Ensure is complete balanced nutrition. #1 doctor recommended, with all the nutrients you need to help stay healthy, active, energetic.
Besides, I'm sure you'll marry someone even more fun than me.
Well, will you at least come to the wedding?
Sure, I'll be there.
Ensure, #1 doctor recommended. Drink to your health.
And now for a new medical breakthrough in weight control. After years of research, medical science has finally found that weight control is not a matter of self-control, but in fact that we have a center in our brain which controls our eating behavior. These behaviors can now be controlled with medication. If you are currently struggling with your weight, now there is hope. Call the American Medical Weight Control Institute, 847-298-THIN. Their physicians offer a medically supervised weight loss and control program featuring the new medically approved medications FinFin. Call 847-298-THIN and let their physician show how you can finally say, yes, I can, lose all those excess pounds without hunger, guilt, or frustration. At the American Medical Weight Control Institute, there are no contracts to sign, no special foods to buy. Call and learn how you can join the thousands of people finally losing and controlling their weight safely. Call 847-298-THIN and mention the station for a free consultation. 847-298-THIN.
Howard David, Matt Millen at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. The Packers with great field position on their first possession after a 24-yard punt. William Henderson and Edgar Bennett in an I formation behind MVP Brett Favre. Play fake. Favre throws it out to the left. The pass is caught by Andre Rison at the Carolina 47-yard line. He's ushered out by Tyrone Poole after a gate of 8 on the play. Quickly, the Packer offense, their starting offensive line, Bruce Wilkerson and Earl Dotson the tackles with Aaron Taylor, Adam Timmerman at guard, and Frank Winters at center. I mentioned Bennett and Henderson. Tight ends, we'll hear from Chimero, we'll hear from Keith Jackson. Wideouts, Antonio Freeman and Andre Rison to start the game. Packers 2nd down and 2 from the Carolina 47. Hand off to Edgar Bennett. Inside the 45 to the 44, and it appears to be enough for a Green Bay first down. On only their second play from scrimmage, the defense, nose tackle Greg Cragen making the tackle. On either side of Cragen is Mike Fox and Gerald Williams in a linebacking core, and maybe as good as it gets in the league. Lamar Lathan, Carlton Bailey, Sam Mills, and Kevin Green. The corners, Eric Davis and Tyrone Poole, and the safeties, Brett Maxey and Pat Terrell. The
Looks like they're going to be short of this, and they're bringing for a measurement. Green Bay Packers felt that first down was a big down from in this game, because then they could dictate what the Panthers could do defensively. Boy, it's by personnel.
That's about one link short of a first down. That's it. So it's going to be third down at about maybe 2 inches, 3 inches at the most. And they bring in Dorsey Levens, who finished off the 96 season by really adding a lot to the Packer running game.
Well, he's given them depth, and he also has a little bit of magic. He'll make you miss. And the other thing that it's done is it made Edgar Bennett play better, because he comes out with an attitude, and he also comes out fresh.
So if the Panthers want to make an early statement, then Favre with a quarterback sneak, he's got a lot more than he needed. Knocked out at the 41-yard line by Lamar Lathan. Quarterback sneak by Brett Favre, and the Packers have 1st and 10 as they bring in Don Beebe at wide receiver, along with Terry Mickens, a gain of 4 on the play.
And what Mike Holmgren's going to try to do right now is get them to change their personnel. And by doing that, he thinks that his 11 on offense when they have 4 wide is better than Carolina's 11 on their defense, and he can spread them out and then see what they're going to do to them.
Chad Cota, Toy Cook in the secondary for Carolina, and Favre's going to throw. Scrambling out of the pocket. Now going to run with the football, gets 1 block, and then goes out of bounds just inside the Carolina 37-yard line. A gain of 5 on the play, and the Packers, after a short punt by Carolina, are in pretty good field position right now in Carolina territory.
Well, what they do is, again, they spread them all out, but good coverage down the field. They took away Favre's throwing lane, so he had to scramble as they're going right to left. He scrambled to his left side. When they spread everybody out, you have to define yourself defensively by your alignment. And when they do that, it gives Brett Favre a better idea of who's coming and who's not coming, and so they can adjust to that.
2nd down and 5, Green Bay. Favre on the play fake. Now hands off to Bennett with a hole up the middle. Bounces off 1 tackle, and then gets thrown back. Going to be close to a first down, but appears to be a little short. Lamar Lathan got to him first. A gain of 4 on the play. A little less than a yard shy of a first down for the Packers. Well, the Packers, have played their first championship game at Lambeau since the famed Ice Bowl on December 31st, 1967. Talking to Jerry Kramer last night. The NFL had a function last night. You know, he's held up pretty well. Now, Willie Wood, who I met last night, is as big as Willie Davis. And Willie Wood played at 175 pounds in his playing days. He's about 260 now.
He gained a pound or 50.
Yes, or 50.
They're running right at the inside of that Carolina defense, and there's a reason for that. Now, he'll start attacking the inside, and again, that's like a boxer. He's going to start attacking the body. But what they were trying to accomplish is if they can attack the inside and run at it effectively, they're going to have to start doing run blitzes and stuff on early downs. Then you go play action early or throw, and it opens up behind you.
Antonio Freeman out wide to the right side. Rising in the slot to the right. 3rd down, less than a yard for a first down for the Packers. Again, the quarterback sneak by Favre over the pile. It looks like he has enough. We'll see where the officials mark it. It looks like they marked inside the 31-yard line, and that would be enough for a first down. Well, if ever there was a guy that would fit into the mold of the Packers of the 60s, it would be their current quarterback, Brett Favre.
Oh, absolutely. It's funny, when they were introducing Paul Hornung, the guy who walked out with his arm around Brett Favre was Paul Hornung, and Favre had his arm around him. I tell you, the one thing where the Packers have gotten much better as the year has gone on is their offensive line. It's come together. They've gotten more physical. They've gotten more confident with it. And Bruce Wilkerson, their left tackle, who's in there now for John Michaels and Ken Ruckers, who had a lot of problems, has really solidified the left side of that offensive line.
That's been their only question mark. 7th play of this drive that started at the Green Bay 46. They have it at the Carolina 30. And there is movement. There's going to be a penalty. I think the left tackle, Bruce Wilkerson or Aaron Taylor, the left guard, moved. That will cost Green Bay a 5-yard penalty on the false start. Well, the Panthers are chasing the Packers, Matt, but the Packers are chasing the ghost of the Packers of the 60s. I really feel like there's constant reference to the Green Bay team of the 60s. The fans are always comparing players of then to players of now. And I think that's something that you would expect when you haven't been to a championship game in your building in 30 years.
Yeah, and then, there's things to remember. It's a different game that's played now than then. The way the game is played has changed now than then. But then I also think that this is so much tradition, and this town has so much tradition with the team, that you're going to always have those comparisons, and to be honest with you, I think it's healthy.
Packers had only one penalty last week. They just got their first of the game. Now 1st and 15. Chimura in motion to the left side. Favre backpedaling. Quick drop. Throws it out to the left. Incomplete. Looking for Keith Jackson. Well defended by Tyrone Poole. And Sam Mills helping out on the play.
Well, again, now you got cold weather, but the field is pretty good. And you have to remember, the Green Bay Packers do a good job of getting rid of the ball fast. The one reason that they're going to have to get rid of the ball fast is Lamar Latham, because he comes off the ball real quick. They're going to have to account for him all the time. So what you'll see is when the line comes up to the line of scrimmage, they will identify where 57 is first. That's the first thing. The second guy then becomes Kevin Green.
Second down and 15, Green Bay. Edgar Bennett trying to sweep to the right, cuts it inside, and spilled at around the 31-yard line by Kevin Green, who knocked him down after a 3-yard pickup. Well, Lamar Latham had some stomach flu this week and actually dropped about 5 pounds during the course of the week. He also had, his knee was bothering him a bit, had a knee inflammation, but so far no indication that that's been a problem.
That won't be a problem. Talked to him yesterday about it. He actually says he has stomach problems, and he has been going to the doctor and getting blood work and all kinds of things done. More than just the flu, he has one of those hiatal hernias where he gets all that acid and stuff come up. But he said, look, no amount of acid would keep him out of this game.
3rd and 11, Packers have converted 2 straight third-down plays. This one longer, Favre over the middle, low ball, incomplete. Looking over the middle for Antonio Freeman at the 20-yard line. And we'll see if the Packers, this is, in this kind of a weather, the wind chill and the cold weather, it's not a good field goal opportunity, and their punter, Craig Hendrick, has come out on the field.
Hey, what the big thing is here in these games are snaps. And the guy who snaps for the punt team is Mark Chimura, the tight end, and he also snaps with gloves on, which I think might be the only guy I see do that.
Winslow Oliver stands back of the 10, a good snap from center, and Hendrick trying to hang it up into the air. Packers trying to cover it near the goal line, and it goes into the end zone, and a wasted opportunity for Green Bay. It turns out to be a net 12-yard kick, 32 yards on the kick, and the Panthers will have their second possession at their own 20. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
License and registration.
The crossing guard.
No, wise guy. Highway Patrol.
Look who's talking.
I'm talking to you. Where are you racing to?
The bridges of Madison County.
Why?
Flash fire.
How do you know?
Undercover.
Oh, yeah? How long you been on the force?
7 minutes in heaven.
All right, impersonating an officer is a felony. I should throw you in the...
Grand Canyon.
What are you talking about?
Cinemax is really great. Nothing but movies.
If you've got movies on your mind, turn to Cinemax, the best network for movies on TV.
Everyone needs someone who will be there. Everyone needs someone on their side.
Your car and your home are two of the most important investments you'll ever make. Investments you need to protect. So count on your nationwide insurance agent to stand behind you with affordable homeowners and auto policies that make it easy to get the coverage that's right for you. You'll also be happy to know that if you insure both your home and your car with a nationwide agent, you may save even more. Your nationwide agent can tell you all about it. Call one today.
Insurance agent in Midlothian is Phyllis Jordan. In Aurora, it's Roger Keenan. Your nationwide insurance agent in Frankfurt is Ron Rekuziak. And in LaGrange, it's Angela Rennick. All nationwide agents on your side.
Stay tuned at the end of the game. We'll tell you about the Roadway player of the game. Roadway features new choice rooms and a 30% discount for seniors. Roadway, all along the way. It's like a revival meeting. And the Minister of Defense, Reggie White, is leading the flock. Griffith and Johnson, the running backs, behind Collins. Johnson on the carry across the 20 for a couple of yards, maybe 3. Gilbert Brown and Reggie White are there to make the stop. Well, we've talked about it since the beginning of the broadcast, about the tradition and the history of the Green Bay Packers. Carolina's 33-game history. And the Panthers have never played in a game where the temperature was below 33 degrees.
And they've never played a game against the Packers where Ron Cox is starting at middle linebacker. And that's one of the areas that they wanted to attack. And that was the other part of the problem we were talking about with the Packers. They're going right at Ron Cox as well.
Again, the fake by Collins, throwing it out to the right of the pass is incomplete. Well defended on the near sideline, intended for Carrier. Craig Newsome and Eugene Robinson combining on the defensive play.
Okay, Craig Newsome read that thing on Carrier the whole way. They went with the quick play action as they're going from left to right. He just faked inside, wheeled. Newsome read it perfectly as Collins threw to his right side. He's lucky that wasn't thick. Leroy Butler was right underneath that, too. Starting this game. Yeah, Collins, 1 for 4 on the start. But remember the slow start last week against Dallas. He throws the pick, regroups, and comes right back.
Well, Farmer's had a whole season full of slow starts. That's his mode, and then he gets into a rhythm. One setback. Wesley Walls, the tight end in motion. Collins going back to pass, looking right, throwing right, down the sideline, and it is caught. Well thrown ball to Rocket Ismail. It is enough for a first down, a pickup of 25 yards to the Carolina 47-yard line.
That's exactly what we're talking about with Collins. And the whole thing starts up front. First thing you have to do is protect, which they do. And then on the outside, Rocket Ismail, he just runs to the outside. Newsome gets the jam, and then he just keeps on going. The ball is thrown perfectly behind the corner and in front of the safety.
That's to serve as a little confidence builder for the Carolina Panthers from their own 47-yard line. Moving from our left to our right. We're in the first quarter with no score. 6:50 to go in the period. Collins on the play fake. Stepping out, throwing it out of the backfield, complete to Griffith. Into Green Bay territory at the 46-yard line, tackled by Brian Williams. A gain of 7 on the play for Howard Griffith in his 4th year from Illinois.
So the Panthers come out and they start running the football, first series, second series, and all they're doing is the same kind of philosophy. They're going to try to draw you inside, and then they're going to work the outsides and your corners. Talking to them, they really felt like they could get double moves on Craig Newsome, the corner. And that's exactly what they did with Rocket Ismail early, just the out and up, get in front of the safety.
Backfield is split with Griffith and Anthony Johnson. Collins on the play fake, pumps one. Now throws it down the right side. He's got a man incomplete. He had Carrier open, and he overthrew him.
See what it was? Double move. Exactly what they wanted to do, and they had their opportunity right there. They go play action away. Newsome gets the jam. They come up and pump. He bites. They get right onto the top side. Talking with Kerry Collins yesterday, he said, Newsome will bite. And if we can get the double move off the pump, he'll take it. And they had it the whole way.
Thrown it 3 times to Carrier. No receptions yet. But Collins looks real smooth right now and getting time to throw the football. 3rd down and 3. Carolina from the Green Bay 46. One setback is Johnson. Collins with a quick drop. Throws it out to the right of the pass. Is incomplete. It was thrown a little too low, but catchable in the direction of Muhsin Muhammad.
They have, and they're going to have to punt here, but they have a 3-receiver formation that they call King. And when Muhsin Muhammad is in, they call it Moose King. And they like him to be out there all by himself because he's so physical, and they think that they have themselves an advantage when he's working on Newsome.
On Stark to kick it. The left footer sails it high in the air in the direction of Desmond Howard, who lets it hit at the 5, and it takes a Carolina bounce. And it's down at the 5-yard line. White and Stone got down on special teams. The Packers, deep in their own territory, will start the drive after a 41-yard kick. No score. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Hello,
welcome to the post office.
Hi. I'd like to send a package to Guatemala with your Global Priority Mail Service. Now,
I'm sorry, sir. We don't exactly ship global priority mail to Guatemala.
But your commercials say you ship all over the world.
No, actually, they're friends. They just say we're global.
Yeah, well, isn't Central America still on the globe?
I wouldn't know, sir. Our global service doesn't go there. Next, please.
Oh, well, wait a second. Can you at least get it close?
Brilliant idea, sir. We do ship around the world.
Oh, okay, so how about South America?
Nope.
Panama? Paraguay?
No.
Mexico?
Not on our globe, Kemosabe.
Well, then, how about Africa?
All right, then. You want to send a package to Africa?
Well, no, not really.
That's okay. We don't go there anyway.
No matter what the post office says, for true global priority service to 211 countries, there's really only one choice: FedEx.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your global service doesn't cover most of the globe?
Well, you know what they say, fella. It's a small world after all. Next, please.
For global service, no one makes your package a priority like FedEx. Today, it's the way the world works.
Dead men tell no tales. Or do they? Sidetrack with the Discovery Channel into the tombs of ancient Egypt. The clump of human hair. An Egyptian sarcophagus. A bizarre discovery. Were ancient Egyptians major drug addicts? Take the journey this Monday night at 9 Eastern and Pacific to find out with Sidetracks, The Curse of the Cocaine Mummies. Only on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Howard David, Matt Millen at Lambeau Field. Low score. The Packers have to start this drive deep in their own territory at the 6-yard line. Shimura in the game, lined up at tight end on the right side. Backfield is split, and Brett Favre back to the goal line, throws the slant, almost threw it behind. Antonio Freeman did throw it behind, and it was nearly picked off by Tyrone Poole. A dangerous pass thrown that time by Brett Favre.
A dangerous pass, but well played by Poole. Packers coming out, going right to left. Antonio Freeman lining up alone, wide to the left side of the field, down below. He just comes on a quick slant, and Poole read it perfectly. He knew that he was going to be set up with that one-on-one coverage and broke on the ball, but frankly, the ball was thrown behind him.
Another slow start for Favre. He's 1 for 4 throwing the football. Now he's faced with a 2nd and 10 from his own 6-yard line. With one setback. Favre, quick throw. The slant hit picked off by Sam Mills at the 5. And Mills is knocked down at the 2-yard line. The Carolina Panthers, 1st and goal at the Green Bay 2.
Came with a blitz off the corner. They lined up the slot to this wide receiver. They came out 4 receivers. They're going right to left. The receiver to the top right side in that slot got the hot read. They came with a blitz to the inside. Sam Mills is going in the zone, going right over to the top. Favre never saw him. Tried to throw it to the inside. Mills read it perfectly. Takes it down to the 2-yard line.
And only a tackle by Andre Rison saved the touchdown, although it may have delayed the inevitable. Panthers 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. The game's first turnover in the first quarter. Johnson and Griffith in an eye behind Kerry Collins. Anthony Johnson running right and knocked down at the line of scrimmage. The ball is loose. The ball is loose. The Packers, now the official comes in and said the ground caused the fumble.
Well, he's pointing down, saying that that's down right there.
McElway will signal whose ball it is. Now they're saying it's Carolina's ball. Well, that ball looked like it came loose. The Packers say they've got it. Keep in mind, the officials have already signaled it's Carolina ball, but keep in mind, this is the 2nd questionable call that may go against Green Bay. That was indeed a fumble. They're not calling it a fumble.
Well, they're saying that his knee was down before the ball came out. Just watching the replay now, and boy, that's a coin flip right there. And they're going to say that it was down, so that's my story, and I'm staying with it. That's what the officials are saying.
Well, it's the 2nd time the Packers might have came away with a turnover, but the officials said no twice. A loss of a yard, 2nd and goal at the 3. Play fake Collins. Wide open is Griffith in the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown Carolina to Howard Griffith.
They just lined up in that formation. They just ran Howard Griffith like he was going to run the lead power play right at the outside backer, and he ran right by him. And then the nice block comes from Anthony Johnson, the tailback, who picks up the blitzer and the safety, and the ball comes out perfectly. Bernardo Harris is in there as the outside backer. Griffiths runs right by him. He's expecting to have to take on the fullback. He runs and sneaks right by him.
Well, stunned silence at Lambeau Field. The Panthers have struck first. Two questionable calls have given the ball back to Carolina when it appeared the Packers had recovered it.
What they weren't going to do, they weren't going to allow Wesley Walls to beat him. So they jumped on him, and Howard Griffiths snuck out in the flat and beat him.
Ron Stark to hold for John Casey, who had a record year in kicking field goals. And his extra point is good. So the Panthers strike first. 5:10 to go, first quarter. 7-0 Carolina. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Dr. Robert Mulgrew, independent optometrist next to LensCrafters.
I'm an eye doctor because I want to help people see better. LensCrafters helps that happen. I always provide a thorough eye exam. I've got all the right technology. I can check for glaucoma, cataracts, and with LensCrafters 1-hour service, I get to see my patients in their new glasses right away. I enjoy seeing my patients year after year because when they come back, that's showing trust. I'm their eye doctor. That's a responsibility I wouldn't trade for anything.
LensCrafters, helping people see better 1 hour at a time.
As time goes by, certain things become obsolete. For instance, 8-track tapes, beehive hairdos, and Christmas bonuses. Well, Courtyard by Marriott is preserving that tradition with a bonus of its own. Special $49 to $59 rates Thursday through Sunday through February 23rd. Call your travel agent or Courtyard at 800-321-2211, at least 3 days in advance. Restrictions apply. As for me, I'm off to get these bell bottoms tapered.
It has arrived. The day when you stop listening to the tales of other lives lived and begin the odyssey that will be your story. When you find the destiny to which you were born, all you need to bring with you is your honor, your courage, and your commitment. It's your journey. Make it a good one. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin. Paid for by the U.S. Navy.
Not a tough case of athlete's foot gets tough actin tenactin. It's been clinically proven a cure even the toughest cases of athlete's foot, something I know that's worried you throughout your career.
No, jockeyage was my deal.
You didn't put any of that tenactin in the I don't want to do that.
Hey, you don't want to put down there, let me tell you.
I'm telling you. Only the second time the Packers have allowed a first quarter touchdown in the last 14 games. And now they await the kickoff of John Casey. Don Beebe and Desmond Howard. The return, a short kickoff. Howard at the 17, to the 25, to the 30, to the outside. Down the sideline goes Desmond Howard and tackled at the Carolina 35-yard line. Rod Smith saves a touchdown. Otherwise, Desmond Howard is going to pay dirt.
Rod Smith took the great angle. He came from the other side of the field. Everybody gets on somebody. And when you're Desmond Howard and you're running with such great confidence, automatically the team around you thinks you can do the same thing. But Rod Smith takes the right angle, and because of that angle, he saves the touchdown, or that's going to be, 78 and out the gate.
49 yards on the return, the longest kickoff return allowed by the Panthers this year. And for the second time in 3 possessions, the Packers get great field position now at the Carolina 34. Levens and Bennett in the backfield. Favre's going to throw. Kevin Green on the blitz. They set up the screen. Complete to Dorsey Levens. Inside the 30. Inside the 25. A flag goes down. This one may come back a little bit. Earl Dodson might have had a little illegal block from the back. A completion of 12 yards on the play, but it may come back.
It looks like Earl Dodson jumped on Brett Maxey down the field, and they're going to bring that thing back. The Green Bay Packers, it's a hold, and it's going to go against the Pack. The Packers are the best screen running team in the National Football League. They have a knack for them. They set things up right.
That's Frank Winters. Well, they called it on Winters. It looked like Dotson because he was out front on the play, but it's on Winters, and it's going to cost Green Bay a 12-yard pickup.
Now they got the heaters down the sideline, and the Green Bay Packers just got a blowout with one of their heaters. They got more smoke than they got heat.
We are are having some technical difficulties with our referees, Mike. In case you didn't wondering why you didn't hear, I know Bob McElwee's family likes to hear his calls on the air.
Well, if we hear a lot of Bob McElwee, that's not a good sign for our league. I think the best things you have is when you don't know the officials are out there. Those are the best games.
First and 12, it turns out to be a loss of 2 on the penalty, and then another flag goes down, and the Packers may have that third penalty of the game, their second false start on right guard Adam Timmerman. So the more experienced Packers are the ones that have made the mistakes early in this game with 4:26 to go in the first quarter.
Well, if they're supposed to be the best team in football, then you got to overcome those things. Yeah, I got to tell you, the Carolina Panthers, they're playing like they're the best team in football. They believe that they are. I said it earlier. They are supremely confident.
Third penalty on the Green Bay offense. First down and 17. Favre with a deep drop. Throws that out to the left sideline. It is caught but out of bounds. They're going to rule it an incompletion, as the receiver, Antonio Freeman, did not make the catch inbounds. Tyrone Poole defending on the play.
One of the other things that Dom Capers spoke about yesterday was he had some really strong keys with this Green Bay offense. By formation, he felt like he had them down. If they didn't break their formation and their tendencies, they'd be able to play those tendencies. And one of them was when Edgar Bennett and Dorsey Levens were in the backfield at the same time. It was 100% pass. They crank up the pass rush. They did that on that last play.
Second and 17, the handoff to Levens inside the 40 to the 35, inside the 30-yard line. Strong run to the right by Dorsey Levens of 14 yards. And it will set up a third down play, only now about 3rd and 3. Sam Mills, who made the interception to set up the Carolina touchdown, made the tackle on the play.
Well, it's clear to me that running the football has been good for the Green Bay Packers early, but Favre has not had a good start. Not throwing the ball well. You know, I go back a year ago in the championship game against Dallas, and he had the same kind of start. They need a good game from Favre to win.
He's only 2 of 7 throwing the football with a pick. Favre rolling right, throwing it on the run and through the hands of Edgar Bennett. A high hard one just went right through the hands of Edgar Bennett, and the Packers now face with a 4th and 3, and the punting unit will come on. I don't know about this choice. And the reason is if Henchard does what he did before and kicks it into the end zone.
Well, they're just going to try to pin him in.
They're going to try a field goal. They're bringing the field goal unit on, and Chris Jackie will try a 47-yard field goal. This is not a chip shot with this cold weather.
And remember, if he misses it, it gets put right there at the 37-yard line.
It'll be a 46-yard attempt. Hentrick puts it down, and the kick by Jackie is going to be short. He had it on line, but it's short. The only reason why I might have thought of it going for it if I was Green Bay, if you don't make it, Panthers get the ball at the 28-yard line. You punt it and kick it in the end zone, they get it to the 20, and so it's an 8-yard difference. But now you kick the field goal, Carolina takes over at their own 37-yard line.
Yeah, that's big. That's real big.
Coming up later today, the Jacksonville Jaguars against the New England Patriots in Foxborough, 3:45 Eastern Time. Brad Shem and Pat Hayden calling the game. Then Matt and I will be in New Orleans 2 weeks from today for Super Bowl 31. We'll have the broadcast at 5:45 Eastern Time. Oh, an interesting part of this game that's taken a little turn on the road, and Carolina with decent field position at their own 37. Collins has looked sharp, rolls out to the right, throws a little pass out to the right to Wesley Walls, and Eugene Robinson is there to meet him out of the flat for a gain of 1 yard on the play.
Watching Eugene Robinson practice the other day, you could see he could smell the Super Bowl. Never been there, played this league for a long time, 13 years, in Seattle most of his career, and he was just going over every check. He would not let everything go by. He wanted an absolutely perfect practice, and I spoke to him about it, and he said, look, I can't afford to let anybody make a mistake. I may never have this opportunity again.
Second down and 9, Carolina, who leads 7-0. 2:33 to go in the first quarter. Collins Mills with a quick throw out to the left. It is complete inside the 40. A short pickup on the play and well defended by Green Bay. Caught by Willie Green. Roy Butler was out of the flat awaiting Willie Green, and a gain of a 2 on the play to the 40.
So it's a 3-2-6.
Third down and 7, Carolina leading 7-0. Collins, quick drop, pumps it once, throws it, and drops. In the hands of the receiver, Mark Carrier. And defending it, Tyrone Williams just knocked it loose. And the Panthers go 3 and out.
They take Tyrone Williams and line him up wide on Carrier. They take Doug Evans. They move him into the slot. And he's out there one-on-one. That is tough to do off the bench, to come out there and go right into that cold and be ready to play.
High snap to Starkey, pulls it down, and another short kick. Fair catch is called for by Green Bay and gathered in at around the 27 or 28-yard line.
They're taking 2 deep men, Desmond Howard and Mike Pryor. And the Panthers are kicking away from Desmond Howard. And so they put 2 people back there so they don't have to run and try to come up on the ball. So at the worst comes to worst, you just make sure of the catch and go from there.
Already the Packers with 3 penalties. Panthers have had fewer penalty yards than their opponents for 22 consecutive games, and that's what keeps in games.
What's happened is the Green Bay Packers, in trying to get the pace of the game to their side, they're going with a lot of quick counts, and that's backfired on them because the offensive line has jumped off sides twice already.
First and 10, Green Bay. Favre with a play fake, rolling out to the right, finding Keith Jackson at the 30. Slips out of one tackle, driving forward across the 35-yard line. There's a loose ball. A loose ball. The Panthers think they may have it.
Now the Packers pointing down.
Yeah, this time the Packers get the ball, the whistle going their way at the 35. Carlton Bailey and Tyrone Poole try to knock it loose from Keith Jackson, but he manages to get 8 yards on the play.
This Carolina defense is one scrappy group, and they play well together. Remember, there's a bunch of guys from all over the league, but they've come together at the right time.
Hand off to Edgar Bennett running left. He's going to be knocked down shy of the first down marker by at least a yard by Lamar Lathan. We're in the last minute of play in the first quarter. The Carolina Panthers have a 7-0 lead. An interception by Sam Mills set up the Panthers at the Packer 2, and 2 plays later, a 3-yard touchdown pass to Howard Griffith. That's been the only scoring thus far.
Gerald Williams, Greg Cragen, Mike Fox do a great job in this 3-4 scheme of using up all the blockers to free the outside people. The guys who benefit the most of that are Lamar Lathan, Sam Mills, Kevin Green, and Bailey. Obviously the 4 backers, because they don't have to take people on.
Inside handoff, Levins to the outside, across the 50, inside the 40, inside the 30, and taken out of bounds. Inside the Carolina 30 by Eric Davis, who saved the touchdown.
Nice job of the offensive line of the Green Bay Packers. Packers are going from right to left. They go with the double fake. They fake one side to Henderson as he goes to his left side, and then Dorsey Levins just breaks to the outside, and a nice block by Thomason on Kevin Green, and then down the field he goes, only to be run down in the angle by Eric Davis.
But the Panthers still lead 7-0, the end of the first quarter. On our CBS Radio Sports broadcast of the NFC Championship game, 7-0 Carolina. Let's pause for this word. Carolina with a 7-0 lead, but Green Bay with a football at the Carolina 29. Well, this franchise began as a town team, I'll get that right, back in 1919, founded by Curly Lambeau, and then a 21-year-old native. They entered the NFL in 1921. They've won 11 league titles in 75 years, most in the NFL, but not since 1967. Packers with the ball. First and 10 at the Carolina 29. Back to passes. Brett Favre wants it all. He's got Levins in the end zone. The pass is caught. Touchdown. Touchdown, Green Bay. Dorsey Levins.
Al Dury is the official back there, and he made the right call because Eric Davis went up with Dorsey Levins, and as they came down, Levins got 1 foot in, but was also pumped by Eric Davis, and that's a good throw. Catch and a score. It all starts up front. First of all, it has to come with protection. Levins lined up as a double wing, just ran down the sideline, and as it came down, one foot was in, the other one was questionable, but Eric Davis forced him out and nicked 6 points.
Jackie for the extra point. And we have a tie game. We are tied at 7 early on, second quarter at Lambeau. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports. Well, his given name is Herbert Dorsey Levens. They only know him here as Dorsey. He's nicknamed the Horse out of Syracuse, New York. And he has put together 2 plays back-to-back that has given the Packer favorite and their fan base a reason to stand up and cheer.
Went to Notre Dame on a football scholarship, did not like Lou Holtz at all, got into it with him a little bit. He took a hike, went to Georgia Tech. Pete Vercich, his teammate, told me that whenever a guy would leave from Notre Dame, Holtz would always tell you how bad he's doing someplace else. He said, guess what? We never heard again from Dorsey Levens.
The short kick is fielded by one of the up people at the 25-yard line. A scramble ensues. The ball was picked up by Myron Baker, who did the wise thing. Rather than try to pick it up and return it, just fell on it.
Yeah, the old Chicago Bear. He knows when there's a loose ball, just flop down on it.
Well, throughout this championship game, CNA Insurance Companies will be contributing to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. A donation of $1,000 will be made for every touchdown scored. Here today, we've had 2. So far, CNA, for all the commitments you make, has donated $2,000.
Dorsey Levens just powered that ball away from Eric Davis to make the catch.
One set back, Anthony Johnson. We are tied at 7 early, second quarter. Quick drop, Collins. A lot of time, and now the flags come down. They stop the play. It's going to be the first penalty on the Panthers for a false start. Boy, you compare 2 quarterbacks, Matt. This is Kerry Collins' second playoff game. The second playoff game of the career for Brett Favre was against the Dallas Cowboys in 1993, and he got beaten 27-17. Favre lost a fumble on the very first play from scrimmage that day. He was 28 of 45 for 331 yards, but came up short.
The difference is Favre had no help at that time, and now he does. And Collins doesn't have to win this game all by himself.
5-yard penalty, back to the 21. This crowd has really gotten alive. Anthony Johnson is knocked. Oh, man. Did he take a hit from Santana Dotson at the 21-yard line?
Santana Dotson, they're running right at Sean Jones. Sean Jones just stuffs the hole, has nowhere to run. Gilbert Brown inside gets double. He holds the point. Santana Dotson, working over Greg Skrupnik now, has the nice feet and slipperiness to come inside. And I'm going to tell you what, he showed up in a nice bad mood because that was a head snapper. The head went backwards for Anthony Johnson.
Johnson, 6 carries for 11 yards. He wanted to be released in training camp. Don Capers pretty much had to talk him out of it.
Good move by Capers.
Packers showing blitz. Quick drop. Collins throwing the slant pass on time. Short pickup inside the 30-yard line to Mark Carrier. A gain of 7 yards on the play, and for the moment, we can actually hear ourselves. This 60,000 crowd has been wild since about 6 this morning.
How about all week long, the whole town was dogging the 3 people who didn't show up last week. And then out of the woodwork, there's always people say, yeah, well, I couldn't get there, and well, I reserved this seat. So all of a sudden, there's like 20 seats that weren't used.
Third down and 5, Carolina at their own 30-yard line. We're tied at 7 in the second quarter. Quick drop, Collins. Again the slant. Pass is juggled and nearly picked off. Nearly intercepted. It was intended for Willie Green, and several Packers had a chance off the deflection to the INT. Tyrone Williams had it. Wayne Simmons had a chance.
Tyrone Williams made the play. Great job by Williams. Again, coming off the bench, you're in nickel or dime. You line up wide. You're on an island. They try to run the quick slant. He jumps his coverage perfectly, gets the hand in there. The ball gets bobbled around. And like you said, a couple guys had a shot, but it falls incomplete.
Second straight 3 and out for Carolina. Stark to punt it to Desmond Howard. Low kick, returnable. Couple of bounces. Desmond picks it up and finally gets knocked down at the 31-yard line. He did a good job fielding a difficult bouncing ball. 41-yard kick, a 2-yard return. We're tied at 7. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
This is John Madden, talking TV tailgating snacks for the big game. What's your question?
Strategy, John. See, we're making Triscuit quesadillas, and we're wondering, do you put the cheese on first or the salsa?
Salsa. And don't forget the Tabasco.
And your Triscuit mini pizzas, pepperonis or mushrooms?
Do I look like a mushroom man?
Sorry, one more. How do you get that magic marker off your TV? We can't get ours off.
Hey, mine's not a magic marker. Triscuit TV tailgating. Open a box, make up a snack.
Football. The country's obsessed with it. Watching this bowl and that bowl for days on end. How do they survive? With life-sustaining bowls of Lipton California onion dip. Lipton onion soup mix and sour cream combine to create a dip so creamy, so delicious. It's the best thing about football. Why do you think they call them bowl games?
Make the official party dip with Lipton Recipe Secrets Onion Soup Mix.
Well, Dorsey Levens has really been the igniter for the Green Bay Packers to get back in this game. We are tied at 7, while the temperature's gone up to 5 degrees. The wind chill now makes it feel like it's 23 below. But you couldn't tell the players that. They think it's 85 and balmy. Packers with the ball, 1st and 10 at their own 31-yard line. They keep it on the ground to Levens. The man with the hot feet turns the corner to the 40 and bumps out of bounds. That Terrell knocks it out of bounds, and Dorsey Levens with a 9-yard gain. Well, here's a reminder from General Mills. Stay tuned for the Wheaties halftime report with Jim Hunter tomorrow morning. Don't forget to eat your Wheaties. It's the breakfast of champions. We may see Dorsey Levens on the box of Wheaties before this day's out.
The way he's running and the way they're getting a block on Lamar Lathan when they're going right at him with big Bruce Wilkerson. They go big on big, and Levens is deceptive. He's a big guy, but he has speed, and he's able to turn the corner, and heck, he picks up 9 and about, 7/8. What's 7/8 of a yard?
That's almost there. It's almost close.
There, yeah.
3 carries for Levens for 58 yards. Of course, he busted off a big one, 35 yards on the touchdown drive, then caught a 29-yard pass for a score. Well, he gained 9 yards, 9 yards, 6 inches, and a fraction.
1 fraction.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Carolina, the first expansion team to beat a defending Super Bowl champion. Take out your calculator.
I got it just about. There we go. Got it.
2nd down, less than a yard for Green Bay. Play fake by Brett Favre. Throws it over the middle. He's got a man complete at the 45-yard line. The pass is complete to Mark Chmura for 15 yards.
And they go with a play action. And again, they're going left to right. Chmura lined up tight end right side. They play action inside. They get your backers to bite up. And then Chmura, as he's going across the field, can get on the top side of those linebackers. And because of the play action, Favre takes a deeper drop, and looks like Favre is in the groove that he hadn't been able to find earlier.
He's shown the same mode about every single game. Every big game that I've seen him play, gets off slowly and then gets into a rhythm, and then he gets on fire. He's hit his last 3. Hand off straight ahead. Dorsey Levens inside the 40 of Carolina. Pulled down by Brett Maxey. Let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS radio network. Howard David, Matt Millen at Lambeau Field, and Dorsey Levens, who now has just come out of the game, Matt, replaced by Edgar Bennett, has been the igniter for the Packers. Favre has hit 3 straight passes, the last of 15 to Mark Chmura over the middle. Play fake, Favre again. Looks left, now throws right, and throws it over the head of the intended receiver, Andre Rison, and Eric Davis was right in the area.
Well, Favre wanted Antonio Freeman on Tyrone Poole, but Poole had the coverage. Now it's to the left side. Again, he's going left to right. He looks to his top left. It's not there. He whirls and throws, and the coverage by Eric Davis was right there. Had that ball been thrown better, Eric Davis may have had a pick.
And would have gone all the way because there was nothing in front of him except the new sod put down here this week.
That's holding up extremely well. I mean, it's not a factor at all. Nobody's slipping and falling.
28 truckloads of sod brought in this week. Favre back to pass on 3rd down. Flushed out of the pocket, rolling out to his left, fumbles the football. Back at the Carolina 45, or the Green Bay 45, there's a scrum for it. The Panthers may have it, and if they do, they'll have great field position, but the
one official's going,
that's right, it's Carolina ball. It's fumbled by Favre.
You know, it's funny, talking yesterday to Dom Capers, he said we have one guy who can catch Favre when he takes off and runs, when he scrambles, and that's Lamar Lathan. Favre looks to the top side, there's coverage, nowhere to go. He wheels back across and just basically drops the football. And Mike Fox is there to pull him away from it. And then inevitably, looks like Lamar Lathan had a shot at it. A lot of guys had a shot at it. But Carolina picks it up on the 45-yard line of the Green Bay Packers, 1st and 10.
Well, the Panthers get great field position at the Green Bay 45 in a 7-all ball game. Collins back to pass, looking long, throwing it left and connecting at the 30 of Green Bay. Inside the 30-yard line to Mark Carrier. A gain of 16 yards, and the Carolina Panthers are on the move.
That Collins has a rifle for an arm. That time they went play action inside, and they were taking Carrier as they came across in motion like they were going to run him all the way across the field. But all he does is he starts, he gets the defense to start to think that they are going to go across, and then he bends back. But because of the arm of Collins and the strength, it's right on the money and a first down.
1st and 10, Carolina at the Green Bay 29. We're tied at 7. Play fake by Collins, throws it out of the backfield, complete to Griffin. Inside the 25 and dives to the Green Bay 20-yard line. Well, right now, the team that has made the most mistakes is the team that was heavily favored. And in the 30 NFC Championship games prior, the underdog has only won 8 times. 7 of the last 8 NFC title games have been decided by 10 or more points. Right now, the Carolina Panthers are in control, even though it's a 7-7 game.
Yeah, what they're doing is they're throwing the football. They felt like they had to run the ball, but the Packers have taken that away, and Collins has been the difference. I mean, he's throwing the football very well.
2nd down on the yard for Carolina. Carrier in motion. Back to pass is Collins, throwing it over the middle. On time, 1st down to Wesley Walls. Inside the 10-yard line, Eugene Robinson knocked him down hard, but Walls holds on after a 13-yard gain.
Again, same play. Carolina going right to left. The last time they stuck Howard Griffiths out in the flat. This time they do the same thing, but that on this next play, what happens is Leroy Butler jumps the flat, and when he jumps the flat, that opens Wesley Walls underneath. The ball is right on the money.
1st and goal, Carolina at the Green Bay 7. We're tied at 7 with 9:38 to go in the 2nd quarter. Anthony Johnson, Malone setback with 4 receivers. Anthony Johnson with a call, running straight ahead, knocked down at the 4-yard line. Ryan Williams got to him.
It's only what, the 7th run? They've had the 7 runs and 17 passes. They've been throwing the football, and that's been the difference.
That was Ron Cox also in on the play. Cox playing at middle linebacker in place of the injured George Kuntz. Was out with a torn ACL ligament in his knee.
This is the area where you really have to defend Wesley Walls. They like him in the red zone very much.
2nd down and goal at the 4. Backfield is split, and Collins back to pass. Throwing it into the end zone. The pass is incomplete.
They're clamping Wesley Walls. They jumped him right away, and then they tried to hit Willie Green coming across the back of the end zone. Eugene Robinson and Doug Evans were all over him. But his first read is to go to Wesley Walls. And so the Packers know that as well. So they try to get a bang on him, and then Ron Cox just jumps him with Leroy Butler helping to the top side. They're going to take him completely out of the equation. Then they come back to Willie Green to the back of the end zone.
3rd and goal, Carolina at the Green Bay 4-yard line. Carolina's passed on all 6 of their 3rd down situations thus far in this game.
Winslow Oliver is in there for a reason.
Back to pass is Collins, looking in the end zone, looking to the right, throwing it out of the flat and dropped by Anthony Johnson, circling out of the backfield.
Winslow Oliver.
That was Winslow Oliver, you're right.
You know, he comes in there. There's a reason why he's in there. He gives them a great burst. He gives them speed and quickness. And so what they try to do is get him isolated on an underneath coverage, and he make you miss.
Well, the Packers hold. And Casey, who had 4 of 4 kicking field goals last week against Dallas, was 37 of 45 during the regular year, an NFL record. And now he'll come on to try a field goal from 22 yards away. Start to put it down, and Casey's field goal is good. You can hear it, and it's good because everything gets silent here at Lambeau.
I heard nothing.
Panthers 10, Packers 7. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports. Football's Great Commitment, sponsored by CNA, a leader in insurance for over 100 years. I'm Howard David. San Francisco's Jerry Rice may be the hardest working man in football, but that hasn't stopped him from helping kids be all they can be. He created the 127 Foundation so at-risk children could overcome life's difficulties and learn to live up to their potential. Rice believes that kids are our most precious resource and personally inspires them with encouragement, strong role models, and hope for the future. This salute to Jerry Rice is sponsored by CNA for all the commitments you make.
People cheating on their insurance claims. Yeah, fraud. We all pay for it. Every one of us. That's one of the reasons our insurance premiums go up. The CNA insurance companies are committed to helping keep our customers' costs under control. Last year, we saved over $60 million in fraudulent and inflated claims. It's about commitment. I'm glad someone's doing something about it. Talk to your agent or broker. CNA. For all the commitments you make.
Hello, I'd like to tell you about a plan proven to make you feel young again. It's like drinking from a fountain of youth. What's the secret? It's called sleeping at your parents' house. They'll tell you what to eat, when to go to bed. But with Courtyard by Marriott's special holiday rates, you can still visit the folks and get your own room for only $49 to $59 a night, Thursday through Sunday through February 23rd at participating locations. Call your travel agent or Courtyard at 800-321-2211. Restrictions apply.
7 plays, 41 yards in 2 minutes and 43 seconds. Good news, bad news situation for the Packers. Carolina scores 3, but it could have been 7 after a turnover once again. A fumble by Brett Favre. 10 points for Carolina off of Green Bay turnovers. One fan last week in Carolina, Matt, in a blue-black face paint, said the Panthers have moved our lives. None of us is getting married. It's pretty obvious why.
None of us are getting married? Where the heck did he come up with that one?
Well, because he's wearing that black and blue paint, Would you marry anybody with black and blue paint? Well, here's the return by Howard, and he takes it all the way out across the 25-yard line.
My wife married me after I had black and blue eyes. After the dumb stuff I said, or she waxed them.
Well, she used to have that Penn State color paint on her face, right, when she was competing in gymnastics?
Well, Mama Miller?
Yeah.
Never.
No. Maybe it was your first wife I'm thinking about.
It was my only one.
Packers with the ball at their own 29-yard line. They have been the team that has made the mistakes, and it hadn't hurt them too much yet, but they trailed 10-7. Favre fumbled the ball the last possession when the Packers looked like they were moving. Now under center, back to throw, has time over the middle, and a seeing-eye pass is caught by Keith Jackson, but they're saying he trapped it.
Yeah, he dropped that thing, hit him in the chest, and it flopped out. And the ball was right on the money, and they came with a blitz. And here's what happens with Carolina. When Carolina comes with a blitz, and it's a zone blitz, there's always an open zone. And it's up to Favre and the receiver to be on the same page to find that. Well, they came with the blitz. They had the open zone. The ball was thrown perfectly. Edgar Bennett picked it up fine, and Jackson dropped it.
Second down and 10. Packers moving from left to right on your radio. The handoff to Bennett, sweeping to the right, across the 35 to the 36-yard line. Kevin Green knocks him down after a 7-yard pickup. Kevin Green's wife sang the national anthem last week, and then he got all pumped up. He was out on the field doing all the Hulk Hogan stuff, and he was all ready to play. Like you need something to pump up that guy.
And he was ready. He had his game face on today, but I'm going to tell you something. The Packers like something on that side, and they are running at Kevin Green today. And I can't tell if it's for running at Kevin Green or running away from Lamar Latham.
Third down for the Green Bay Packers. Third down about 2.5. Freeman in motion. Favre back to pass. Throws it out to the right, complete to Edgar Bennett. He's got a first down across the Green Bay 40-yard line. Sam Mills bumps him out of bounds, but they get 5 on the play and a first down.
That's one of those nice legally run illegal pits. they got guys running into all kinds of people, and Edgar Bennett just lines up and comes down to the flats, but not before Antonio Freeman comes down, the tight end comes down. They just try to create some kind of confusion in the coverage, and they get you out in the flat.
Fresh set of downs for the Green Bay Packers at their own 41-yard line. 10-7 Carolina. We're in the second quarter with 7:20 left. The handoff to Bennett. Edgar across the 45 and finally tackled by Greg Reagan, the nose tackle, at around the 49-yard line. Nice block by William Henderson, the fullback of Green Bay.
And a nice job up front by Big Earl Dodson and Adam Timmerman. And then William Henderson is really a guard in the backfield. And he start back there, when they get in that I formation, let me tell you something. They come at you downhill, and they are full speed. Generally, where number 30 goes, Henderson, 34 is right there behind him, Edgar Bennett. Green Bay's rushed for 100 yards already so far in this football game.
Second down and about 2.5. The inside handoff, Dorsey Levens. He squirms across the 50 and leans forward for a first down to the Carolina 48-yard line. I believe it's enough for a first down. Kevin Green finally pulls him down, but Dorsey Levens got about 3 yards on that play, but with just actual individual accomplishment, he was sensational. He's been sensational the whole half.
I think Dorsey Levens got a lot of 1-2 in him. That's what I think. I think right there he was stuffed at the hole, but because he wanted to get that first down, he just spun back inside again as they're going left to right. He spun back to the inside after Kevin Green hit him, and because of that 1-2, picks up the first.
First down, Green Bay. They've won 17 straight here at Lambeau, 27 of their last 28 at home. Favre a handoff. Dorsey Levens slips the tackle, hurdles over his own man, goes inside the 45 to the Carolina 42-yard line. Mike Fox finally pulls him down, but Dorsey Levens, a workhorse here in the first half, picks up 6 more yards.
And the guy he makes miss is Sam Mills, and that's not easy to do. I'm going to tell you something. Sam Mills came out of his mother in a hitting position. I mean, he can run straight up and down and hit you in the throat. He's one of those guys. And the thing is, he's hard to make miss, because he's always in that position, and what he did there, he just came out, moved just that little bit of step. Sam goes to the outside, he picks up, 6 yards?
Excuse me for not believing it, but I want to see the videotape of that coming out of the position.
I don't want to.
Favre back to throw, passes complete over the middle. Antonio Freeman and a first down for Green Bay. Tackled by Sam Mills, shy of the 35-yard line. And the Packers, who trailed 10-7,
Aaron Taylor
once again on the move.
Aaron Taylor is getting after Lamar Lathan, and they just mocked him. Lathan's a big karate guy, one of those, I don't know what they jiu-jitsu, all that kind of stuff.
Taekwondo.
Whatever that is. And Aaron Taylor just got in his face, and Lathan just punched him, gave him a push in the face, and he gave him one of those things from
Karate.
Yeah, Karate Kid. One of those, I don't know what those things are.
I don't know.
Standing on one foot, and he just gave it to him. Little mockage right there.
Favre changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Play clock is down to 3. They go to the handoff to Bennett, cuts it up inside, inside the 35-yard line. A couple of yards in the play for Edgar Bennett.
That was a nice read by Favre and a nice read by William Henderson to bounce it outside, because Carolina came with a blitz to the inside, and Edgar Bennett didn't see the same thing everybody else did and jumped back inside.
It's too bad we're not on television. I wanted everybody to see how you were standing on one foot and doing the old wing thing.
Oh, I could do that too. I don't know what that means, but I could do it.
As long as you don't start quoting proverbs.
I can do that too.
Yes, I know. There's very little you can. 3:50 left until halftime. 10-7 Carolina. Green Bay with the ball. Second down and 8. Ninth play of the drive. At the Carolina 35, the pass complete to Dorsey Levens inside the 30 to the 28 of Carolina, brought down by Carlton Bailey, who saved the first down. Favre has 8 completions to 6 different receivers, but clearly it has been Dorsey Levens that has given them the shot in the arm that they look like they needed after making so many mistakes.
And that play right there comes right out of San Francisco's playbook. That's called the Texas run. They run the tight end up the field. They take Evans to the tight end side. He takes 3 steps. He's reading the backer. If the backer gets high on him, he comes right back underneath. That's what he did. Sets up 3rd and 1.
Between the hash marks. One set back is Bennett. Favre back to throw. Under a rush, throws it over the middle and complete somehow to Keith Jackson.
What a great job by Edgar Bennett picking up the blitz. And then Favre does his patented like a fadeaway jumper. As he sees it, he keeps on retreating. He needles that ball in there. Keith Jackson makes a heck of a catch, comes up, giving all kinds of first down things, but because he took a shot in the head, he makes sure he gets to the sideline in a hurry. Kevin Green just lowered the boom on him.
First down, Green Bay at the Carolina 25 with 2:25 left until halftime. Panthers lead 10-7. Packers on the move. Hand off to Bennett, sweeping to the left. Turns the corner inside the 20-yard line and knocked out of bounds at the 16-yard line of the Panthers. Great blocks by Aaron Taylor and William Henderson to free up Edgar Bennett for an 8-yard pickup.
Yeah, and it's all led at first by Mark Shimura, the tight end. And then because they're able to secure that point, and he gets Gerald Williams, then it's everybody's out there. Timmerman's out there, Aaron Taylor's out there, Henderson. Heck, that just sets it up what? It's going to be the 2 minutes down to 2:05. They're pounding them right now.
They get the play off before the warning. Now the officials say they did not. So it is time for the 2-minute warning. Sponsored by the 2-in-1 shampoo, Pert Plus. Shampoo and conditioner for simply great hair. Simply. The score, 10-7 Carolina. You're listening to the NFL playoffs from CBS Radio Sports.
Quarterback is rolling to his right. He's got Mark Shimura in the end zone. Touchdown, Mark Shimura.
This is Mark Shimura, tight end for the Green Bay Packers, with an important message for everyone in our radio audience. When I'm out on the field for the Green Bay Packers, I know the best way for me to make a difference in the game is to carry the ball into the end zone. That's what makes us winners on the field. But off the field, I know the best way to make a difference in my community is being a part of the NFL United Way team as a volunteer and contributor. In the NFL, we contribute because we care about the children and families. If you care about children, you'll see firsthand this season why the NFL, through agencies and programs of the United Way, are helping children and their families. NFL and the United Way are making better communities for all of us to live in. When you join me and my teammates, you'll be part of the NFL United Way team, where you'll always be a winner. NFL and United Way, reaching those who need help, touching us all.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
2 minutes remaining in the first half. The Carolina Panthers lead the Green Bay Packers by the score of 10-7 at the half. Jim Hunter will preview today's Jaguar-Patriot game in Foxborough. John Yurkovich of the Jaguars, former Green Bay Packer, and William Roberts, a former New York Giant, now with the Patriots, will be his guests. Pack has held the ball for 6 minutes and 40 seconds on this drive. The 12th play coming up. And it has been a balanced drive. 6 runs, 5 passes, bar 4 of 5 to 4 different receivers. Now he's got it second down at about a yard at the Carolina 16-yard line. Edgar Bennett, the lone setback. They hand it to Edgar straight ahead, and the pile just drives straight ahead, and the pile got the 2 yards he needed.
See which way that pile was going? Packers are going
south.
Yeah, they're going left to right, and that thing's going to the right. That means that offensive line with big Bruce Wilkerson over there and Aaron Taylor in there, Frank Winters, Adam Timmerman, Earl Dotson, they're winning the battle up front. And they're pushing people back. And where they really have been running, although not on this third down, has been at Kevin Green with Mark Shimura. Shimura has been winning those battles.
1:25 left and counting. Packers still with 3 timeouts to use. Backfield is split. Freeman in motion. Favre back to throw. Throws it out to the right, complete to Edgar Bennett, and a terrific play by Carolina's free safety, Pat Terrell, who tackles him immediately as they mark it at the line of scrimmage. And a timeout will be spent by Green Bay with 1:08 to play in the second quarter. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Hey, I can spot a tough case of athlete's foot from the 50-yard line, or my name isn't Madden. You know what I mean. First you get that itching, then the cracking, and listen to this, even burning. Now that's when you want a medicine that acts tough. That's this. Boom. Tough-actin Tinactin. Clinically proven Tinactin cures even the tough cases of athlete's foot. No wonder it's recommended by pharmacists. Got a tough case of athlete's foot? Get this. Tough-actin Tinactin. Use only as directed.
One phone call can change your life insurance, that is. Call your State Farm agent to make an appointment to review your life insurance coverage, especially if there have been any significant changes, like a new house or another child. Those are strong indicators that your life insurance needs to be updated. And that's what your State Farm agent is there for, to help you find a plan that's right for your family right now.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
And now Art Donovan on Roadway Inn's business amenities.
Hey, that reminds me of a story. We were playing New York, and this guy was really giving me the business. So next time we're under the pile, I stuck a big wad of mud down his pants.
Excuse me, Art.
Seen the guy.
Art, we wanted you to discuss how Roadway makes it easier to travel on business with free local phone calls and free newspapers, and that you can reserve a room by calling 1-800-228-2000.
Hey, why do I look like an announcer? Anyway,
Roadway Inn,
guy had a
all along the way.
Biggest story all week was the work of Packer field supervisor Todd Edelbeck and his crew, putting down 28 truckloads of sod, each section 42 inches wide, 49 feet long, and weighed 2,000 pounds each, 1 ton. And so it took four of those for each yard. So you had about 480 ton, probably a little more, probably around 500 ton, a new sod here. Talking to Chip Toma, the NFL guy, he said, I said, what do you do with this after this game? He said, scrap it. It'll be gone. People are trying to buy sections of it for their yard. So I bet my pickup truck out here. Keep it on, boys. 1:08 to play in the second quarter. Favre has hit the last 5 passes he's thrown in a row. 10 of 18 for the ball game. Second and 10 Packers. They trail 10-7. 3 receivers to the right. The handoff. Dorsey Levens to about the 10-yard line. Carlton Bailey knocks him down, and then a flag comes down.
A late one. And that could be a face mask or something like that, but we'll wait and see. I really shouldn't jump the gun right there.
Stop the clock with 1:02 left until halftime. Bob McElwee, the referee. Personal foul. Walking below the waist against the Packers. Oh, boy. It's the Packers that have made the mistakes today.
Well, 2 mistakes set up the 10 points for the Panthers.
It's against Green Bay.
It's a big one, boys.
Yeah, we're talking 15. They bring it back to the 28-yard line. Well, that changes things somewhat.
Changes things a lot. I mean, now, if that's a post-possession foul, that will set up 3rd down, but it's not going to be. It'll end up being 2nd down and about 20...
About 25.
About 25.
The ball's on the 28. They have to get to the 3-yard line. 2nd down and 25. Packers with the ball.
And they're thinking right now that you're going to still use 3 downs to get in there. You have 1 minute 2 to go. You have a lot of field to work with.
Packers still have 2 timeouts to use. They go with Chimera in motion. Favre back to throw. Looking long. A lot of time. Drills it and caught by Andre Rison inside the 10-yard line to about the 7-yard line.
That was all, and a timeout by the Green Bay Packers. That was, you can credit the offensive line for giving a lot of time for Brett Favre because he read a whole book back there before he decided to go to Rison.
You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
For a taste of success this NFL season, you could haul in a 95-yard touchdown pass, or stop a 285-pound linebacker, or grab a bowl of delicious whole wheat Wheaties. That's right, Wheaties has a hearty, toasted taste that's just got more to it. So let's review. Pick up a crucial 1st down, or pick up a box of toasted whole wheat Wheaties. The breakfast of champions. Wheaties, a proud sponsor of the NFL.
Gain of 22 on the play, complete to Andre Rison, who made a great catch because the ball was thrown slightly behind. But how about the protection by the offensive line of the Packers?
Yeah, specifically on Lamar Latham, because he's really their guy. what happened, because they were able to protect Favre, they ran a route on the right side where Shimura cleared out a whole bunch of people, and Rison, and this is where he's really good, Rison can just play street ball, get out there and get open, and Favre has that same ability. And that's a great credit to Brett Favre, because he'll throw the ball to anybody. If you're open, he'll find you, boom, the ball's coming, as opposed to a guy like Troy Aikman, who's very, very specific. He wants things right, have to do things right, and he gets locked in on what he wants to do.
Packers have one timeout left, 53 seconds till halftime. Carolina with a 10-7 lead. Panthers coming after Favre, looking left, throwing it to the left corner of the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown to Antonio Freeman! And the Packers take the lead. Great job of picking up the blitz. The Panthers come with an all-out blitz. The Packers pick it up. Favre reads it. He knows he has one-on-one coverage to the top side again as they're going left to right. Antonio Freeman is up to the top left side. He's man-to-man on Tyrone Poole, and Poole flips. The ball's perfectly thrown, and Freeman's in for 6, but not before the great protection. Jackie's extra point is good, and the Packers take the lead, 14-10. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Dr. Robert Mulgrew, independent optometrist next to LensCrafters.
I'm an eye doctor because I want to help people see better. LensCrafters helps that happen. I always provide a thorough eye exam. I've got all the right technology. I can check for glaucoma, cataracts, and with LensCrafters 1-hour service, I get to see my patients in their new glasses right away. I enjoy seeing my patients year after year because when they come back, that's showing trust. I'm their eye doctor. That's a responsibility I wouldn't trade for anything.
LensCrafters, helping people see better 1 hour at a time.
Grandpa, can I marry you?
Oh, honey, you're so young. I could never keep up with you.
But Mom says that's why you drink Ensure.
Ensure is complete balanced nutrition. #1 doctor recommended, with all the nutrients you need to help stay healthy, active, energetic.
Besides, I'm sure you'll marry someone even more fun than me.
Well, will you at least come to the wedding?
Sure, I'll be there.
Ensure, #1 doctor recommended. Drink to your health.
Brett Favre, 6 of 7 on the drive to 5 different receivers. He's just thrown his 16th postseason touchdown. It took 15 plays, 71 yards in almost 8 minutes. And now the kickoff to the dangerous Michael Bates, but it's fielded by Winslow Oliver at the 20. And Oliver finally pulled down at the 27-yard line. Wind chill makes it feel like it's 23 below zero, but forget about telling the 60,000 in the building. They only know one temperature, and that is it's balmy out there in their mind.
Well, that's because the Packers are hot. Now the Panthers have 3 timeouts. They're on the 27-yard line. So on this play, you can use the whole field, and that means the middle of the field.
Collins throwing deep, and the pass is intercepted. A great interception by Tyrone Williams. An over-the-shoulder diving interception at the Green Bay 38-yard line, intended for Willie Green.
Collins tried to push it again up the field to the sideline. Panthers are going right to left. Willie Green goes down the sideline, and perfectly played by Tyrone Williams, and what a tremendous catch. I mean, he laid out completely horizontal with one arm and caught it with one hand and pulled that bad boy in. What a catch.
That was great. Really was great. And now the Packers, 1st and 10 at their own 38-yard line. They have one timeout to use, but only 35 seconds to try to get into at least field goal range for a long Jackie field goal. Packers lead 14-10. They have made most of the mistakes. They've turned it over twice. They've committed more penalties. They have outgained the Panthers by 2-1 offensively, and now they've got the football back. 3 receivers to the left and 1 to the right. Favre back to pass. Scrambling out of the pocket. Throwing it to the right. Complete to Andre Rison. Alertly steps out of bounds at the Carolina 39-yard line. A 23-yard gain. And the Packers showing not only momentum, but they're steamrolling right now.
And remember that start that Favre had where he said he came out slow? You can lay that one to rest because he is as hot could be right now. And because of his legs and his ability to make you miss, he buys some time and boom, out complete for a first down to Rise, and he's completed his last 8 passes.
Quick drop left, throwing the slant, 9 in a row. To Freeman inside the 20, driving to the 15, and finally put to the turf at the 15 of Carolina with 19 seconds to play in the half. And the Packers take their final timeout. A 25-yard gain from Favre to Freeman. Timeout. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Under the water, our submariners can't settle for part-time air filters. They must have pure air. The U.S. submarine fleet uses the best technology possible. The Auric hypoallergenic air machine uses that same technology. Our electronic filter never needs to be replaced. Rinse it clean. It's as good as new, and you never have to breathe air through a dirty filter. For a free brochure or a free trial, call me, David Auric, 1-800-989-4200. 1-800-989-4200.
Packers playing their first championship game in Lambeau since the famed Ice Bowl on December 31st of '67. They brought back a lot of the old Packers: Paul Hornung, Jerry Kramer, Willie Wood, Ray Nitschke. They're all in the building. Horace Gregg is here. Horace Gregg. And now the Packers of the ball, 1st and 10 at the Carolina 14 with 19 seconds left in the first half. Following the great interception by Tyrone Williams, and then 2 terrific plays, one to Rison and one to Freeman. The Packers with a chance to come away with at least 3 and maybe a touchdown.
Well, and the way their offensive line is blocking right now, Favre has time, and that's been the difference since they had their last turnover. This offensive line's taken over the game.
Favre back to throw, lobs it into the end zone, up for grabs, and it's incomplete. That was a dangerous play, and he had a tremendous rush on him. Keith Jackson was the intended receiver, but Kevin Green was right in the face of Brett Favre just before he unloaded that play, and now I think the field goal unit will come on.
They came with a blitz, and that's a great call by Dom Capers. They came with a blitz. They forced the ball to be thrown in a hurry, and so you can jump your coverage. And Mike Holmgren now, with 14 seconds left to go, is going to say, look, I ain't going to take any more chances to turn it over. Let's knock this 3 out and head it on in.
It'll be a 31-yard field goal. Placement by Hendrick. And the field goal on the way. It is good. Packers take the lead 17-10. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports. Only took Green Bay 25 seconds to pick up 3 more points, and now the low kickoff. Fielded at the 20-yard line. To the 30, and finally knocked down at the 34 is Scott Green. And with 4 seconds left in the first half, you suspect that after what's happened to Carolina on the last play, they'll just take a knee and get out of here. Down 7 points. Packers have run 42 plays. 27 of those have come from the Carolina side of the field.
That is going to drive Don Capers absolutely nuts. He's a huge field position guy. He told us yesterday about the field position, and it's proven him right.
Collins will take a knee, and that'll be the end of the first half. The Packers, who were down 10-7, have scored 10 quick points and take a 17-10 lead to the locker room. Timeout is taken. 17-10 Green Bay. Let's pause for this word.
I'm Jim Hunter in New York. Time for the second half kickoff in the NFC Championship game. It's the Panthers and the Packers. Let's send you back to noisy Lambeau Field, and hopefully it's cozy there for Howard David and Matt Millen. Howard?
All right, Jim, it is kind of cozy, actually, even though it's like 23 below zero. I'll be honest with you, I don't get that sense. You took your coat off. Took the coat off? I'll tell you, if you look at the stats of this first half, you'd say to yourself, Packers must be up by 3 touchdowns. They have 270 total yards to 103 for Carolina. But isn't it the case, more often than not, that turnovers make a difference in a game?
That's the bottom line. The turnovers. Now, the way the first half was played, Favre got over that early nervousness or being off a little bit, and now he's as on as he's been all season. The offensive line has taken over the game, but I will say this, Carolina has not gone after them aggressively, only a few times. In the second half, I would expect Carolina defensively to come after them, and because of that, I think this first series is a monster. If the Packers come out and score, it could get ugly.
Brett Favre, after a very slow start, 14 of 23 for 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. The team that leads at halftime in the championship game has won 46 of 48 games. If I'm Carolina, I don't feel great about that stat. I'll be honest with you.
I would think you wouldn't be feeling too good about that.
Well, the Packers scored the field goal following a turnover. Carolina has all of their scoring as a result of turnovers. The more experienced team is Green Bay. You'd figure they would make the fewer mistakes, and yet they've made the most mistakes when you add penalties into the equation as well. But having gotten over that, and now with a 17-10 lead, if you're Green Bay, you want to go for the kill and get this thing over with as fast as you can.
The Packers have been very good at doing that. When they've sensed the kill and blood in the water, they've gone after him. But listen, by no means is there blood in the water. Kerry Collins gets his shot. He's been throwing very, very well. The difference so far, defensively for the Packers, is they've been able to take away the run, and they've turned it into a one-dimensional game.
Carolina's defense the last 8 games has allowed 1 touchdown, 5 field goals, and forced 19 turnovers. They are not out of this one yet. It's only a 7-point game. Green Bay on top. Casey to kick off to Desmond Howard at the 4. Desmond running left to the 15. He's to the 20, to the 25. Trying to bounce it to the outside. A flag goes down as Desmond Howard finally brought down at the 39-yard line. And the flag occurs usually at the spot where the infraction would be against the return team. Myron Baker made the tackle on Desmond Howard, who almost electrified the crowd again, but it's going to be holding against Green Bay and hurt their field position.
So that's at the 21-yard line. It'll go back to the 11.
85 of the receiving team during the return. 10-yard penalty. First down.
That's Terry Mickens.
Yeah, it goes back to the 11-yard line. It was out to the 40. That's a monster. That's a monster penalty.
First specialty teams penalty of the game against either team. Well, a town of 80,000 is Green Bay, Wisconsin. It serves a metropolitan area of 200,000, no longer a city of the 40s and 50s. It has grown up quite a bit. I formation with 2 receivers to the left from the 11-yard line. Favre on the handoff to Edgar Bennett, and he'll be hit right at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play. And he's brought down by Gerald Williams, the former Steeler. You know, it's interesting, during the Christmas break, you know, the Panthers had that extra week off, so did the Packers. Gerald Williams said for 3 straight days, I was only walking around in my bedroom slippers. That's it. Didn't put any shoes on, didn't want to go outside, just wanted to sit down and relax.
That's the time of the year when your dogs are really barking and you just want to get off. But 3 days, I believe, would drive me nuts.
Second down and 10 for Green Bay, moving from left to right on your radio. Blitz being shown. Flag goes down. Running play for Edgar Bennett out to the 15 or 16-yard line. And offsides the call against the Carolina Panthers.
That'll give him a 2nd and 5. Favre goes with the hard count. Bob McElwee, who they haven't been able to straighten out his microphone. They got offsides on the interior of the offensive line.
Second down.
Oh, there he is, using Marcel Marceau's mic.
Yeah, you're right. See what they did early? They tried to change the pace of the game by going with quick counts. And then that backfired on them, and they jumped off sides a few times. Now they've gone the other way and going with the hard counts, trying to get the Panthers to jump.
2nd and 5. Favre back to pass. Off the play fake. Out to the left, and it's nearly picked off. Boy, Pat Terrell broke on the ball a little quicker. He may have an interception. Pass intended out of the flat for Antonio Freeman, who has 1 big play to that last drive by the Packers that got him 3 points. 2 big plays. The 1 catch of 23 yards by Andre Rison, and then 15 yards to Freeman set up that field goal. But again, off of turnovers, a great interception.
Both of these coaches, Mike Holmgren and Dom Capers, are masters of adjustments at halftime. And because of that, this 3rd down right here is huge for both sides of the ball.
Green Bay 6 of 9 converting 3rd down plays. Favre back to throw. Steps up, throws it over the middle, and it is complete. First down across the 30 and more. Beebe on the move across the 40 to the 45-yard line. Tackled by Pat Terrell and Don Beebe, who you remember back against the San Francisco 49ers had over 200 yards of reception, has just made his first catch of the afternoon.
Well, they go with a four-man rush. They green dog one man, and that is Sam Mills. And his job was just to take care of Favre. And because there was coverage, Favre was able to buy some time with his feet, moved in the pocket a little bit, and then Beebe is running away from the coverage across the field from Tyrone Poole, and that's the difference in the play. It comes back to Favre's feet.
In his 8th year from Chadron State, Don Beebe makes the reception. Favre rolling out to the right, sprinting back to the left, throwing it on the run, and complete to Keith Jackson inside the 40-yard line. Carlton Bailey pushes him out, and Brett Favre is like a riverboat gambler right now. He's playing with his own deck, and everybody else is strangers.
He's got the aces up his sleeve because he's dealing like nobody else can deal, only Favre. Tell you what he is. He looks like the MVP of the league. That's what he looks like right now. And he's getting some help. I mean, the help that he's getting is that offensive line. They are blocking Lamar Lathan and Kevin Green. We've not mentioned them at all. That's a story. Specifically, the left tackle, Bruce Wilkerson, who's coming up big right now.
And that's the spot that was of concern to the Packers when Ken Rutgers retired. 1st and 10, Packers at the 35 of Carolina. Green Bay with a 17-10 lead. The sweep to Edgar Bennett running left. Gets a couple of yards in the play to about the Carolina 32. Aaron Taylor trying to pave the way, the offensive left guard. And Carlton Bailey makes the tackle on the play. Well, Packers offensive coordinator Sherman Lewis, along with Jacksonville offensive coordinator Kevin Gilbride and Carolina defensive coordinator Vic Fangio, right now appear to be candidates for the San Diego job. Of course, Bobby Ross, I guess, is going to be the new coach of the Lions.
Looks like it. And another guy in this field is the coordinator, Fritz Shermer, who's as good as any coordinator in the league. And what they've been holding against him is he's 64 years old. But boy, I'd say I'd take a long, hard look at him.
Inside handoff, Edgar Bennett knocked down hard at the line of scrimmage by Kevin Green. We have 11:20 remaining in the third quarter. The Packers, who trailed 10-7, scored 10 points late in the second quarter and now lead 17-10.
And again, they get down to the third down. It's a big play. And so now they make their wholesale changes. Williams goes out. Les Miller comes in. Mark Thomas comes in. Bailey goes out. And the Green Bay Packers come with their package of wide receivers on 3rd and 7.
3rd down and 7 at the Carolina 32. Favre has completed 4 of 6 on 3rd down plays throwing the ball. Back to pass again, Favre looking for running room, and a little shovel pass straight ahead is complete.
Unbelievable.
Dorsey Levens on the connection.
That was all Brett Favre. Brett Favre was being tackled by Kevin Green and Mark Thomas, and as he was falling down, he just shoveled just like a two-hand chest pass out to Dorsey Levens, and Levens picked up the first down, but that was all Favre.
With Matt Millen, I'm Howard David. The Packers on the move again. 1st and 10. At the 24 of Carolina, Edgar Bennett sweeping to the right, inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play. Kevin Green again had to make the play. Green, who led the NFL in sacks with 14.5 sacks this year, has been quiet in that area, and you're right, they've been running right at Kevin Green, and maybe it is because they're running away from Lathan.
Well, they're running at him, and they're blocking inside. So you can't just run at one guy completely. They're taking Mike Fox with Earl Dotson, and he's getting blocked. And then when the safety, Maxey, comes up, William Henderson has been wearing him out.
This is the 9th play of the drive that started at the Green Bay 11-yard line. Again, the inside handoff to Dorsey Levens. Drives to the 15 and finally stopped at the 14-yard line. Little shy of a first down, I think, but awfully close. It's Dorsey Levens, if you recall, Matt, in the first half when the Packers were struggling and making all these mistakes. The big plays came from Dorsey Levens, and then Favre caught fire.
Well, he just ran with power. You saw the speed. You saw the magic. He'll make you miss. He just hit Mike Fox, who's 310 pounds, in the chest and drove him backwards on his back. I mean, that is powerful.
Coming up at 3:45 Eastern Time, the Jacksonville Jaguars will be in Foxborough to play the Patriots. Brad Sham and Pat Hayden will have the call, and then 2 weeks from today, Matt and I will be in New Orleans. 5:45 Eastern Time, Jim Hunter with the pregame show for Super Bowl 31.
We will go out to dinner at Mother's.
I hear you.
We will have a feast.
Now, what do they specialize in?
And you can buy.
After the check you picked up in San Francisco, I'll do that.
Okay,
you got a deal.
Green Bay's 8 of 11 on third down. They've converted their last 5.
Third down, less than a yard. Jackson in motion. The handoff to Levens, trying to cut it up inside, and the Panthers knock him down short of the first down marker. Excellent pursuit that time by the Panthers. Reagan stuffed the hole. Sam Mills stuffed the hole. And now the Packers try to kick a field goal and go for it on fourth down. They have a 7-point lead.
Levens made a bad decision.
Yeah, and this is the right decision by Mike Holmgren. Get the 3 points and make it a 2-score game.
They were going, as they're going from left to right, they had the left corner completely blocked with Lamar Lathan. And Dorsey Levens starts up top and sees a little crease inside, but Mills filled it so fast, it stopped him short and sets up fourth down.
Well, Levens had 73 yards rushing in the first half. He did his job and more. And now this will be a 32-yard field goal for Jackie. The kick is away, and the Packers lead by 10. 8:16 remaining third quarter. Green Bay 20, Carolina 10. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
You're a new parent, and you've thought of all the essentials, like diapers and cribs and bassinets. But what about life insurance for yourself? It's not the first thing you think of, but it's one of the most important things you can do to protect your baby's future. And there's no better person to talk to about life than a State Farm agent. Your agent will answer all your questions and help you find a life insurance plan that provides protection for your family and peace of mind for you.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here is a message for every man with questions about the subject of impotence. If you're concerned about this problem, the MSD Institute can help. The board-certified physicians at the MSD Institute have been offering an innovative program and have consulted with more than 40,000 men for the past 11 years. The MSD Institute's comprehensive program not only provides a thorough diagnosis to identify one of the many possible causes for impotence, but it provides treatment as well. The MSD Institute's program has been featured in national magazines and network television. If you would like to speak privately with the medical director about this program, call 312-725-7722 and schedule a free consultation without any obligation. For your convenience, the MSD Institute has 7 offices throughout Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana, and southern Wisconsin. All calls are treated confidentially. Phone 312-725-7722 anytime, 24 hours a day. That's the MSD Institute's innovative impotence program, 312-725-7722.
Well, it's been a while. When you think about it, Matt, it's been a while that Kerry Collins has really been on the field. I mean, he's been involved in about 8 plays in the last 3 possessions. Time of possession clearly in favor of the Packers. They've run 52 plays to 28 for Carolina, but I'm talking about the last 3 series.
Oh, yeah.
Where Collins has not been on the field for any extended period. Here's Michael Bates from the 5, a dangerous kick returner, running to the right to the 20.
Oh, great
and he
play.
is tackled in the open field.
Travis Jervey made one heck of a play.
That's a heck of a player's right, and a guy won a bronze medal in the 200 meters in the 92 Olympics. That's a heck of a play on Michael Bates.
I'll tell you, Michael Bates is the first track guy who I've seen who understands how to play rough football.
20-10 Green Bay. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
It begins with a step away from the known and a step towards the unknown. It will take you to ports halfway around the world and into uncharted waters deep inside yourself. Above all, it will demand your honor, your courage, and your commitment. It's your journey. Start it in the right direction. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin. Paid for by the U.S. Navy.
Do you have a taste for burritos? Then CLTV's Good Eating has the show for you. Good Eating is the weekly cable TV companion to the Chicago Tribune's food section. This week, visit some local restaurants that make wrapped cuisine their delicious specialty and find out why this food is so popular. And then Chicago Tribune Test Kitchen Director Alicia Tesling gives you a lesson on making paella wraps. And if the wind chills have you down, get a jump on the best winter workouts. Watch Good Eating Saturday mornings at 10 and Saturday afternoons at 5. Only on CLTV, only on cable.
What makes a winner? The Chicago Truck Center knows. They consistently win the 5-Star Performance Award. With 60 years in valuable experience, the Chicago Truck Center has the Midwest's largest GMC and Volvo new truck inventories. They have the truck that you need at competitive prices, from light-duty pickups to heavy-duty tractors. At 24-hour weekday service, 25 service bays, and immediate parts availability. Plus, you get their famous total service approach. Whether you need a fleet of trucks or just one, go with a winner. The Chicago Truck Center, 1015 West Pershing Road. Your home for the NFL playoffs and Super Bowl 31. Radio 720 WGN, Chicago.
The Roadway player of the game. Roadway features new choice rooms and a 30% discount for seniors. Roadway all along the way. Well, the Panthers now in a crossroads in this game. They trail 20-10, and the Packers have snatched the momentum away from Carolina. Collins on the play fake. Has time, airing it out, deep down the middle. He had Willie Green, but he overthrew him.
He had him. He had the safety bite up, and he had Newsome beat to the inside. He had the whole field, but they got some pressure, and the ball was let go soon, and it fell incomplete. See who they dropped out of there in their zone blitz? Gilbert Brown. And Gilbert Brown, all 370 pounds on him, dropped back and knocked off the tight end on the crossing route. Now, that's either a very shallow crossing route or a deep drop. I go with the former.
Second down and 10, Carolina. From their own 22. Hand off to Anthony Johnson up the middle across the 25 to the 28-yard line. The makers of Coracetin remind you that if you have high blood pressure, only take a decongestant-free cold medicine. Don't take chances. Take decongestant-free Coracetin and Coracetin products.
Kids use Coracetin.
You don't need that now, do you? Boy, I needed it back at Thanksgiving. Woo, baby. I was hurt. Everybody you were working with then was hurt.
I think you're right. I must have been I was like Typhoid Mary. That was
you were the carrier.
I was the carrier.
Third down and 3. Carolina at their own 29. Packers lead 20-10. We're in the third quarter with 7:20 left. Collins back to pass. Steps up, drills it over the middle, complete. Mark Carrier across the 40-yard line, and a first down of 14 yards on the play.
Speaking of Carrier, did a great job of sitting down in the zone. Green Bay Packers come out with a 3-man rush, so they're going to concede the rush. Collins has time, and they just, again, they're going to take him in the slot. Carrier just sits down in the open hole in the zone, and because of the time, he can take it. Boom, ball comes right out.
Harry Collins in his second year from Penn State, and only his second playoff game. Hands to Anthony Johnson, trying to go to the outside, and slowed up as he crosses the 45, but a gain of 4 on the play. For Anthony Johnson, he replaced Tim Biakabatuka, the former Wolverine running back. Johnson, a former Colt, former New York Jet, Chicago Bear, a second-round pick.
He's pretty darn good.
Yeah, he went to Don Capers during training camp, and he just wasn't confident at all. He said, hey, cut me. I got to go someplace else and find my way. Well, Capers reminded him after a big game, said, you want me to change my mind again?
Yeah, he's pretty good. And the thing that's really impressive is he's on all the special teams.
He only has 25 yards rushing today after 100 last week. Second down and 6, Carolina. Collins back to pass. Has time. Pumps once. Flushed out of the pocket. Now throwing it on the run, and it's broken up. He was looking for Wesley Walls, or I think it was Wesley Walls over by the sideline.
Yeah, or Carrier. They were both there. But the reason that he had to scramble because Reggie White beat Norberto Garrido, the rookie tackle, and he got in there. But what the strength of Collins allowed him to make Reggie White miss. And then as he rolls to the right, as they're going from right to left, he looks down for Walls, but Leroy Butler had jumped his coverage and stayed with it. And really, Walls has not been a factor in this football game.
They've done a good job of taking him out. And by the same token, Reggie White's been kind of quiet too.
Right.
But the Packers lead. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. It's 20-10 Green Bay. Third down and 6. Carolina. The blitz is on. Collins back, throwing it out to the right, and the pass is caught by Carrier. Inside the 40 to the 35, and finally pulled down at the 25 of Green Bay. Craig Newsome went for the gamble, came up empty in a 27-yard play for Carolina.
That's a beautiful throw by Kerry Collins. He sees the pressure coming right off his right side to his throwing side. Craig Newsome jumps his coverage and Carrier. He tries to go for the knockdown, And then on the other end, Mike Pryor. I almost said what's his face. Yeah. Mike Pryor makes a great job of getting him out of bounds, or that would have been a score.
Collins 11 of 22, passes the ball, fakes the end around, now sets up the screen out of the flat to Anthony Johnson. Inside the 20 to the 15 of Green Bay, and finally swerves to the 10-yard line.
Reggie White just got held like you wouldn't believe, and he's looking at the official, and you can hear the people booing. Reggie White got held, and he'd have had a sack. And then they ran a screen away from White. The guy who held him from behind was Wesley Wallace, just basically pulled him from behind. But it's not seen, so there's no call, and it's first down on the 12.5-yard line.
Carolina, once upon a time, had a 10-7 lead. The Packers have scored 13 straight points, but Carolina threatening. At the 13 of Green Bay. High formation. Collins with a play fake. Throws it out in the flat, complete to Howard Griffith, and he is taken off his feet inside the 10-yard line. Newsom got to him first, and then finally Brian Williams forced him out of bounds at the Green Bay 8-yard line, a gain of 4. And it looks like, Griffith is noticeably hobbling, trying to get back to the huddle, like he's not even looking to the sideline. And now he's got no choice but to go back. He's been replaced.
Scott Green comes on for him, the big fullback now. When they take Scott Green in, they miss the receiving ability of Howard Griffith. This is going to set up second down.
Scott Green, a rookie from Michigan State, in the game at fullback. Carolina with the ball, second down and 6 on the Green Bay 8-yard line. Carrier to the right. Willie Green to the left. Walls in the slot to the right side. Green and Johnson, the setback. The pitch to Anthony Johnson, sweeping to the left. Tries to turn the corner and does at the 5. And finally pulled down right at the 5-yard line. Santana Dotson finally holds him down.
And Doug Evans makes a really good play out there. They got the corner. They got Brian Williams cut down with a block from Scott Green, and that gave him the corner. Doug Evans has force from the secondary as he comes up, and he makes just an outstanding tackle. If he doesn't hold on to him, and Santana Dotson can come over to finish it off, Johnson would score.
10th play of the drive that started at the Carolina 22-yard line. Third down and 2, Carolina at the Green Bay 5. Packers with a 20-10 lead. Collins back to pass. Looking right, throwing it over the middle. The pass is through the hands. Incomplete. And it will bring up 4th down. Mark Carrier, the intended receiver, over the middle, and he just could not hold it.
A couple of good things that went on for the Green Bay Packers. Inside, Gilbert Brown and Sean Jones, they get pressure. Brian Williams jumps the coverage to the top side where he wanted to hit Anthony Johnson. And then because that was taken away and they got the pressure up inside, he has to go to his secondary receiver, and he's covered by Eugene Robinson and Ron Cox, and it sets up this field goal attempt.
Mr. Automatic, John Casey from 23 yards away. Ron Stark to put it down, puts down the high snap, and his field goal is good. So the Panthers have closed the lead to 7. 20-13 Green Bay. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Live on Fox. It's hard-hitting as football. Non-stop action like basketball. And shots moving like a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's Lefty. He shoots. It's the NHL All-Star Game. The world's greatest hockey players cut loose in a goal-scoring frenzy. It's Younger. He scores. See Fox Track, the revolutionary high-tech puck with a comet's tail. The NHL All-Star Game live on Fox. Saturday at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Regular season begins next Saturday.
Hello, welcome to the post office.
Hi, I'd like to send a package priority mail, and I need it delivered on Saturday.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We can't actually guarantee delivery on Saturday.
But your commercials promise Saturday delivery for no extra charge.
Oh, no, that's not what we said. What we said is it could show up on Saturday with your regular mail, and if it does, well, we won't charge extra for it.
You mean your Saturday delivery could get there on Monday?
Oh, you bet. Or Tuesday, or even Wednesday.
Thursday?
Yes, sir. But either way, it won't cost you a penny more.
Yeah, but I need it there on Saturday.
And on Saturday, you might get it, friend.
And if it gets gets there?
You pay nothing extra.
And if it doesn't?
You pay nothing extra, lucky man.
So you're saying your Saturday service is good for nothing?
Why, yes, in a manner of speaking.
No matter what the post office says, when you want true Saturday delivery on Saturday, there's really only one choice, FedEx.
Hey, if I paid extra, could you guarantee it gets there on Saturday?
No, sir, you'll never pay more, regardless of when we don't know it'll arrive.
For reliable Saturday delivery, no one makes your package a priority like FedEx. Today, it's the way the world works.
Now, the first time since 1991 that neither Dallas nor San Francisco will be in the Super Bowl in 5 years since the Cowboys were not in an NFC title game. But is it about the changing of the guard short term or long term? I guess you have to wait and find out until next year, see what happens.
You know, the interesting thing still, and we've talked about this before, when you look at the Dallas Cowboys, where they stand right now, they still have the most talent in this league. And I think the biggest thing last week is when Michael Irvin got hurt and went out, that changed the complexion of that game. They still need to address some things. They have gotten old. They're still pretty darn good.
KC for the kickoff. An end-over end kickoff from the left footer finds Desmond Howard at the 12-yard line. Up to the 20. Howard slowed up at the 25, hurdles up over a couple of players, and finally is pulled down at the 27-yard line.
Guy who slowed him up was that Michael Bates, and now there's another scrum going on. Desmond Howard's getting pulled out of the pile by an official. I think the officials have done a pretty good job here today, calling the game and keeping it under control.
Timeout is taken. The Packers have a 20-13 lead. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
NFL Great Defenders, sponsored by the U.S. Army. Hi, I'm Matt Millen. A relentless pass rusher since he entered the NFL 12 years ago, Kevin Green is still going strong. His 14.5 sacks were tops in the NFL in '96. Panther teammate Sam Mills continues to prove that good things do come in small packages. The 5'9" Mills anchored one of the league's best defenses, and together this duo of dynamite linebackers helped catapult Carolina into the playoffs in only its second season. Kevin Green and Sam Mills, a pair of NFL Great Defenders, sponsored by the U.S. Army.
Did you hear? Don Bradford's left school.
You're kidding.
Guess he wasn't ready for college. Wonder if I'm ready.
I know what you mean.
I know a way to get ready for college and earn money for tuition.
The Army?
How do you know?
I just signed up.
Qualify, and you can earn up to $30,000 for college in the Army and help develop the maturity and self-confidence to succeed at college and in life. Call 1-800-USA-ARMY. Paid for by the U.S. Army.
It only happens twice a year at Sears, the semi-annual home appliance and electronic sale.
Now through January 22nd, you can save $401 on a Kenmore side-by-side fridge for only $1,198.
Plus, use your Sears card and get 0% financing till May on all home appliances over $399. All computers, all camcorders, all digital satellite systems, and all TVs over $499.
Get to Sears and save.
No billing, no payments, no accrued interest until May 97. Regular Sears card terms apply after 0% period. APR 21%. Minimum finance charge 50 cents. See store for this option and details. Prices may vary in Alaska, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico.
Green Bay's last 3 drives, 15 plays, 71 yards, a touchdown. 4 plays, 48 yards, a field goal. And 11 plays, 73 yards, and another field goal. They have really come back after a very slow starting day for Brett Favre. And to amplify that, Favre started out 5 of his first 13, 12 of his last 14. But that's been a benchmark of Brett Favre for a lot of games this year. He hands off to Edgar Bennett, who gets pounded around the 29-yard line for gain of 2.
Right at Gerald Williams, and Williams works off the block. I got to tell you, I'm watching this Green Bay Packer offensive line, and to me right now, I would have to say Bruce Wilkerson has saved the day for them. Because they've let him go one-on-one with Lamar Lathan, and he's come up big the majority of the time. That was a major concern for the Packers, and he's answered the bell.
Green Bay with 137 yards rushing. Dorsey Levens, who's had a big day today for the Packers. He's had the lion's share of those yards. Favre setting up the screen to the right. Caught by Levens. Across the 30 to the 35 to the 40. On his horse to the 50. Down the sideline 30. He's down to the 20. To the 15 to the 10. And finally bumped out of bounds. A saving tackle by Tyrone Poole inside the Carolina 5-yard line. A 66-yard pass and run, mostly run by Dorsey Levens.
And they got it off of the screen. And they used their tendency second seed against the Panthers. They came with the set that the Panthers felt like they threw all the time, so the Panthers came with a blitz. And Mike Holmgren countered with a screen to the right side as they're going from left to right. Levens makes a nice cut back in, and then he's off to the races, but not before he's bounced out of bounds at the 4-yard line by Tyrone Poole. Great call by Holmgren. Dorsey Levens with 194 total yards. As a receiver and a rusher, Edgar Bennett, touchdown, right up the middle of the ballpark. And the Packers open up a 26-13 lead. Our football went right at them. What the Green Bay Packers have been said they couldn't do, they're doing. They're running with power right at the Carolina defense. You can credit Earl Dotson and Adam Timmerman, along with Mark Shimura, they blew open a major hole, and he basically walked into the end zone. Great blocks, great running, great play calling, and the Packers. Chris Jackie's extra point. It's a 2-touchdown game. 27-13 Green Bay with 1:58 to go, third quarter. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
License and registration.
The crossing guard.
No, wise guy. Highway Patrol.
Look who's talking.
I'm talking to you. Where are you racing to?
The bridges of Madison County.
Why?
Flash fire.
How do you know?
Undercover.
Oh, yeah? How long you been on the force?
7 minutes in heaven.
All right, impersonating an officer is a felony. I should throw you in the...
Grand Canyon.
What are you talking about?
Cinemax. It's really great. Nothing but movies.
If you've got movies on your mind, turn to Cinemax, the best network for movies on TV.
As he drove the carpool full of non-smokers, Harold, knowing he couldn't smoke, deeply lamented having left his Wrigley Spearmint gum in his Bermudas, in his hamper. But there, under the seat next to Emma, was one last glorious stick. Oh, for that cool, clean spearmint taste. Oh, for that pure chewing satisfaction. Oh.
Dad, that's my gum.
Oh, it's going to be a long trip.
When you can't smoke, don't forget your Wrigley Spearmint.
I see a lot of people that put up with scratch lenses.
Lens Crafters optician, Tracy Sylvester.
A scratch lens means they're not seeing properly, and for me, that's a real problem. Lens Crafters DuraLens can help make that problem go away. No other plastic lens is more scratch resistant than a DuraLens. Only Lens Crafters has DuraLens brand lenses, and even these will be ready in about an hour. DuraLens has helped me help people see better. I feel really good about that.
Lens Crafters, helping people see better, 1 hour at a time.
Throughout this championship game, the CNA Insurance Company is contributing to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund. A donation of $1,000 made for every touchdown scored. There have been 4 of this game. And $4,000 donated by CNA for all the commitments you make. Packers have scored on 6 of their last 7 possessions. And after a sluggish start, both Brett Favre and also the mistakes that they made, penalties, turnovers, Carolina had a 10-7 lead, but boy, it's Green Bay just taking this game by the throat.
Green Bay looks, right now, they look as good as anybody in this league has looked all season long. They're on a roll. And they're doing it in all phases of the game. And everybody's contributing. Like, for example, great call by the coach. Nice block by Antonio Freeman to seal things off inside. And then Dorsey Levens is off to the races.
66-yard play that set up a 4-yard run by Bennett. Michael Bates catching it on the run at the 10, up to the 15, to the 20, across the 25, and finally put on his back at the 30-yard line. They've done a good job, the Packers had. When you looked at this game from a special teams perspective, you had to like Carolina's special teams. Casey's had a record year. Michael Bates is a dangerous kick returner. But they've done one thing the Packers have. I mean, Favre's only been sacked once.
He's getting rid of the ball quick. Yeah. He's making good decisions. And the other thing is that the Green Bay Packers play great special teams as well. So you have good against good. And so far in this game, early it was a field position game, but now the offensive line of the Packers is taking this thing over.
1:48 to go in the third. Kerry Collins from the 30, backpedaling, looking to throw out to the left and completes it to Willie Green at the 40-yard line. He fumbles it, but out of bounds. A gain of 11 yards on the play. Doug Evans and Wayne Simmons defending for the Green Bay Packers.
Kerry Collins, to me, is very impressive. I mean, he's way ahead of where a second-year quarterback should be. He has great poise. He's got a powerful arm. He'll throw against tight coverage because of the confidence he has. He's not backed down at all.
Well, they've actually only given him about a 9-yard, 9.5-yard pickup, so it'll be second down, less than a yard for a first down for Carolina. Anthony Johnson straight ahead with a big hole. He fumbles the ball.
Green Bay's ball.
Packers have it.
Right into the hands of Leroy Butler and Eugene Robinson. Got a nice hole inside, burst right through it, and the ball just popped out. And Leroy Butler was right there, and it's going to be Green Bay ball, 1st and 10 from the 47-yard line.
Remember last week? Leroy Butler said, I'm a guy who thinks a toy poodle can beat up a Rottweiler. With that kind of mentality, you got to like this guy. You have to like his approach to the game.
You know who did it? I'm watching the replay. The guy who knocked that ball loose was Gilbert Brown. Gilbert Brown got doubled, came over, swapped his left arm out, and hit the ball, and that was the difference in the play.
Packers now with a 27-13 lead, and now the blood is in the water.
Yes, it is, and they can smell it. With a minute 23 to go in the third, the Packers are going to try to nail the lid on the coffin.
Timeout is taken by the Carolina Panthers with 1:23 remaining in the third quarter at Green Bay. Ahead 27-13. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Did you hear? Don Bradford's left school.
You're kidding.
Guess he wasn't ready for college. Wonder if I'm ready.
I know what you mean.
I know a way to get ready for college and earn money for tuition.
The Army?
How'd you know?
I just signed up.
Qualify, and you can earn up to $30,000 for college in the Army and help develop the maturity and self-confidence to succeed at college and in life. Call 1-800-USA-ARMY. Paid for by the U.S. Army.
Green Bay began actually as a town team back in 1919, and a guy named Curly Lambeau, who was 21 years old at the time, brought the team into the NFL. That in 1921. Since then, they've won 11 league titles in 75 years, most in the NFL, but it's been dry in Green Bay since 1967.
But you could feel the beginning, the genesis, 5 years ago when Mike Holmgren showed up. And you knew he had a plan, and really the real guy who got it done was Ron Wolf.
1st and 10 Packers. They keep it on the ground. Edgar Bennett sweeping to the left inside the 45-yard line and finally out of bounds inside the Carolina 40. Pat Carroll finally ushers him out, and now you're getting a sense of why most people think this is the best team in the National Football League after a very slow start and a lot of mistakes in the first quarter. Boy, they have come on like a house of fire, and it's been Favre. He's gotten ignited. It started with Levins.
And also, that offensive line. The guy who's really blocking his rear end off today on the corners and the edges has been Mark Chmura. And Chmura has allowed them to get to the outside. And when you're doing that against Lamar Latham, who's as good as there is, and Kevin Green, that's saying a lot.
Temperature all the way up to 7 degrees, but the wind chill makes it feel like 15. Bennett in motion. Favre on the inside handoff. William Henderson, his first carry, looking for the first down. Looks like he came up a little short.
Looks like Frankenstein.
Before or after. Let's pause 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the CBS radio network. Matt Millen, Howard David, we're at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. And the Packers, I think, are going to let the third quarter come to a close without calling another play. And when this third quarter is complete, this place will go wild. 27-13 Green Bay. That's the end of the third on our CBS Radio Sports broadcast of the NFC Championship game. Right here, let's pause for this word.
You know how a dog year equals 7 human ones? Well, computers are like that compared to other machines.
Tom Ryan, president of the American Stock Exchange.
A 7-year-old airplane is younger than a 1-year-old server. It makes buying decisions tough. It turns systems into orphans way too soon. Computer people ought to be more sensitive to that. No matter how great the new stuff is, it should work with, even optimize, their old stuff. Digital does it. Everybody should.
Digital. Whatever it takes.
My business isn't like other businesses. What I do is restore antique tubs. And yeah, it's unusual. So when it comes to insurance, try finding a company that knows their clawfoot from a claim form.
At the CNA Insurance Companies, we believe every business has unique risks. We're committed to understanding your risks and helping you find the right solution. It's about commitment.
To say CNA was immersed in my business, that's an understatement.
Talk to your agent or broker. CNA. all the commitments you make.
Hey, I can spot a tough case of athlete's foot from the 50-yard line, or my name isn't Madden. You know what I mean. First you get that itching, then the cracking, and listen to this, even burning. Now that's when you want a medicine that acts tough. That's this. Boom. Tough-actin Tinactin. Clinically proven Tinactin cures even the tough cases of athlete's foot. No wonder it's recommended by pharmacists. Got a tough case of athlete's foot? Get this. Tough-actin Tinactin. Use only as directed.
CBS Radio Sports coverage of the NFC Championship game is sponsored by Digital Equipment, by the CNA Insurance Company, by Tinactin Athlete's Foot Remedy, and by Red Roof Inns. David, Matt Millen at Lambeau Field. We start the fourth quarter with, of course, the obligatory Macarena, although here in Wisconsin it's the macaroni. You've been here, what, 2 days? Got here Thursday night, so I figure the over and under on the amount of brats you've eaten is about 20.
I'll tell you, they have the crew for Fox has a burner right outside, right, soaking in beer all night. Those babies are good. I'll be feeling them all night long.
Yes, just stand-up wind. Here's the handoff inside the 11, bounces to the outside, to the 30, and finally taken out of bounds.
They are just power football. Dorsey Levens just ran over Pat Terrell, Tyrone Poole. Green Bay Packers have proved that they're too physical, which this surprised me. They're too physical for that Panther defense. They never allowed the Panthers to get in really into their blitzing schemes. They went directly at them. They were able to handle the pass rush with their front five, which allowed them to go with a five-man pass route, and that was the difference in this game.
4 receivers in the game for Green Bay. First down play, the inside handoff to Edgar Bennett inside the 30-yard line. Well, Dorsey Levens, by the end of this day, I suspect that it'll be between he and Favre, who's the roadway player of the game. But Dorsey Levens, 85 yards rushing, 117 yards receiving passes, 202 yards from scrimmage. He has been the guy that got him going. Favre picked up the mantle. They've got great line play from their offensive line. And right now they have a 27-13 lead.
And Dorsey Levens was able to do those things with Favre because that offensive line is taking over the game. I mean, that, to me, that's what really has surprised me today.
Second down and 2, Packers. Favre rolling right. Stopping. Now taking it up inside. Looking to run to the left, looking for blockers, and wisely goes down. He went left, right, up, south, north, east, west, and came down with no gain on the play.
Devin, he was smart, too, because after he did all those directions you just mentioned, Lamar Latham was drawing a bead, and that means hit the brakes, baby, get down.
Well, there's a couple of your close personal friends I see on the sidelines in the stands with no shirts on.
They would be called the morons. How the heck? That, you got to be out of your gourd to do that. Minus 23, they got their shirts off, and those are not pretty bodies, I got to tell you.
No. Looks like 8 pounds of lingerie and a 5-pound sack. Third down and 8, Green Bay. Favre over the middle, complete to Antonio Freeman, leaning forward, short. I think of a first down. We'll see where they mark it.
Bruce Wilkerson and Aaron Taylor are putting on a clinic today. And if this is short, I would expect that Holmgren would go for this thing.
I didn't know that you stuttered.
Well, you know, that was Nurse Ratchet from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Right.
When he said, moron. That was an excellent movie.
Oh, yeah.
R.P. McMurph. Remember R.P.?
Yep.
I went to school
The Chief was one of your heroes, too, I heard.
I didn't like him.
God, he ripped out toilets. How could you not like that?
Well, because you like juicy fruit.
Well, they're going to be a little shy of a first down with 12:52 remaining. Carolina, this is interesting. Their defense averaged giving up 244 yards a game. Today they've given up 439.
They gave up 240 in the first half alone.
3 tight ends in the game now for the Packers. Jamira Jackson and Jeff Thomason joins the contest.
William Henderson, the fullback, and Dorsey Levens, the tailback. Keep your eyes on Favre.
Well, keep your eyes on Favre. Nice delay. First down, Brett Favre with a quarterback sneak.
Green Bay Packers right now are proving why they've been considered the best team in the National Football League all year round. And I've got to tell you, at this point, this is the most complete that I have seen them all season long.
Remember at the top of the broadcast we were talking about the new sheriff in town, Carolina last year, front page of the Carolina paper the next morning said there's a new sheriff in town. Packers, the new sheriff in town, and they have 60,000 in their posse in this building today. 8th play of the drive for Green Bay that started at the 47. They go to Edgar Bennett just driving straight ahead inside the 15-yard line. Carlton Bailey and Pat Terrell make the hit on the play. Well, Green Bay got to the NFC Championship game last year, lost in Dallas. Now Carolina's getting to the NFC Championship game, and right now they're down 14 points with 11:40 to go. And while the game's not over, they're starting to take on the look of a team that's been beaten. Is this a springboard for the future, or with free agency, are they going to have to redo this all over again? Again, the one-time Denver Bronco makes the hit on the play for Carolina. Well, Bill Polian, the general manager of the Panthers, has really done a masterful job of putting this roster together. And Don Capers, who waited his turn and finally got a head coaching job, has done a great job with his team. You win 12 games, that's not a fluke.
Oh, no, and they've done it right. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is an excellent football team. I mean, probably any other team that they would beat today except the Packers are playing on another level. And the guys who are really playing on another level is that offensive line. Earl Dodson, Timmerman, Frank Winters, Aaron Taylor, Bruce Wilkerson. There's the handoff to Bennett, and he looks like he's going to be stopped shy of a first down at the 10-yard line. So once again, a 4th down play. It's only the 6th time all day that Carolina has stopped Green Bay on 3rd down plays. They were 9 of 15, and now the field goal unit will come on, which is the right move. That would make it a 3-score game. Coming up at 3:45 Eastern time, Brad Sham and Pat Hayden will bring you the game between the Jacksonville Jaguars in Foxborough against the Patriots. This will be a 28-yard field goal out of the hold of Hendrick, and Jackie's field goal try is good. Packers up the count, 30-13. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Hi, Martin Mull here. We're asking travelers to ring in the new year by calling 1-800-THE-ROOF to compare Red Roof Inn's rates.
It's 1-800-THE-ROOF. Need a toothpick. He's doing great stuff.
1-800-THE-ROOF.
Roof.
So how much less is Red Roof Inn?
About $10 a night.
There you go.
They're about $6 less a night than what I usually do.
Want a room just as nice as other hotels, but for a lot less? Then call 1-800-THE-ROOF.
Packers are 10-0 in playoff games. Looking for number 11. We'll be back in just a moment.
Everyone needs someone who will be there. Everyone needs someone on their side.
If your home is damaged, you need someone on your side who can make things right away. Count on it if your homeowner's policy is with Nationwide Insurance. Our Blue Ribbon Claims Guarantee promises that, based on your actual policy coverage, your property will be repaired or replaced to your complete satisfaction. And if you have smoke detectors, fire extinguishers, or a security system, you could save even more. Call a Nationwide agent today and have someone on your side.
Nationwide Insurance agent in Barrington is Don Bach. In Elk Grove Village, it's Milt Hollinger. Your Nationwide agent in Palatine is Susan Leedy, and in Schaumburg, it's Mike Nietzsche. All Nationwide agents on your side.
Here's a reminder from General Mills, when you're thinking about breakfast tomorrow morning, don't forget to eat your Wheaties, the breakfast of champions. The Packers led the NFL in points scored with 456, fewest allowed, 210. It's the first time one team has had both of those numbers since the undefeated Miami Dolphins in 1972. Michael Bates awaiting the kickoff of Craig Hendrick. Bates fields it on the run at the 10. Angles to the right to the 20. To the 25, and finally pulled down at the 28-yard line, and then a flag comes flying in late.
They who ate their Wheaties today for the Green Bay Packers, Dorsey Levens, Brett Favre, and that offensive line.
And Santana Dotson, too. I think he's had a great game.
He's played well. Gilbert Brown has played well inside.
Holding on the return. Boy, these are the things that happen when you're in a hole, as the Panthers are right now. Packers are looking to be 11-0 in playoff games here in this building. I've said it all year long.
On the return team, throwing the run, 10 yards, first down.
Oh, I guess Bob got his microphone back. People ask me about Lambeau Field. This, I think, and that's just speaking for me, is the most difficult place to play for a visiting team in this league.
Well, there's definitely a home field advantage. I think it's kind of like Buffalo when it gets cold.
Yep.
And these people are nuts like you can hear them right now. I think that's a great advantage. And then I think there's that part that says we can win here every time, and that's probably the biggest part.
First and 10, Carolina, moving from left to right on your radio. From their own 17, they hand off straight ahead into the secondary. Anthony Johnson. Or is that Winslow Oliver? It's Oliver.
Winslow Oliver.
Oliver, the ball carrier, the rookie from New Mexico, rambling for 11 yards in the play. We've talked about it at the top. Carolina's chasing Green Bay. These Packers are chasing the ghosts of the Packers of the 60s. Collins without a huddle. Steps up to throw. Out to the right. Pass is caught. Are they going to rule it a completion? Yes. Willie Green just inside the sideline marker. A gain of 14 on the play, but the clock continues to move with 9:15 left.
And the Panthers are going with the hurry up. Now they're going to huddle up. But what Green Bay is doing is they're just they're playing their zones a little deeper, and they're allowing them to throw in front of them. What they want is that clock to wear down. At the 9-minute mark, they're up by 17 points.
Collins with 3 receivers to the left. Drops back to pass. Looks right for Green and connects, but Green fumbles. And it'll be fumble the ball, juggle the ball. It's ruled an incompletion. The interesting thing about the Panthers, Matt, one of the several interesting things is the fact that they've had 3 left tackles offensively, 3 left guards, 3 centers, 3 right tackles, 2 different running backs, 2 different quarterbacks, and yet they've only allowed 18 sacks in Terry Collins' 12 starts.
That's Jim McNally, the offensive line coach, as good as there is in this league. And the other thing is they get rid of the ball quick, and Terry Collins has really matured at an accelerated rate.
Second down and 10, Carolina. Packers with a 30-13 lead. The draw play to Oliver. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage, manages to get to the 45. Nice play by Brian Williams, the right side linebacker. Well, it's 8:40 remaining.
The other thing to remember about this Carolina team offensively is they're very young. Speaking to Dom Capers yesterday, he said the formula for him was to be able to draft on the offense and bring free agents in on the defense and then build your kicking game. He said we can develop our offense, and they're going to continue to get better, mostly because this Kerry Collins is so darn good.
Over the middle, he connects with Wesley Walls inside Green Bay territory. Doug Evans finally brings him down, but a gain of 20 yards to the former San Francisco 49er tight end. And the Panthers going without a huddle with 8 minutes to go. They have it at the Green Bay 35.
Collins pumped that thing 3 times because the Packers are going with a 3-man rush, and they have the advantage. They're just trying to beat him with coverage down the field.
Collins back to pass, rolling out to the right. Being chased from the blind side, just throws it away. And he had Wayne Simmons, just like, it was hunting season here in Wisconsin a few weeks back. He had him right in his crosshair.
Right in the crosshair. They're using Wayne Simmons, the extra linebacker. Again, they're going with a 3-man rush. They're using Wayne Simmons as the spy guy. That gives them 4. That means you have 7 people back there in coverage.
I'd like to welcome all of you listening in around the country on CBS Radio and around the world on Armed Forces Radio. All my guys listening in on Armed Forces Radio from an alum.
How you doing, boys? We appreciate you. Wish you were here at Lambeau Field. I'd buy you a Brock.
And a brewski, of course. Collins back to pass. Throws it out to the right, and it's intercepted. But no, they call it a trap. It's ruled an incompletion. Craig Newsom thought he had a clean INT right in front of the Green Bay bench, and the official said no. Kind of view and the ground and the ball were all together at the same time, but a nice play by Newsom nevertheless on the pass intended for Willie Green.
Well, he broke underneath. He saw what was happening, and
that's a good call.
That was a good call. Maybe. I'm not convinced of that. It looks like he may have gotten his hands underneath him.
He did, but then the ground held it in.
That don't matter what we think anyway. I already called it incomplete.
That's all right. Third down and 10. Carolina from the Packer 35. Green Bay with a 30-13 lead. Collins back to pass. A lot of time, and now he is sacked.
Wayne Simmons.
And Wayne Simmons time found him in the crosshairs. The first sack on Kerry Collins in the ball game. Then he was able to come underneath. Remember, Collins is not a guy who likes to move around. He stays in the pocket. Simmons came off the right side, and he was working on Matt Campbell. And then he started up the field, and then back to the inside. Actually, it was Winslow Oliver who picked him up, and he beat him with the sack. So the punting unit will come on. Ron Stark, at least the Carolina Panthers are showing fun, and now a timeout is taken by Green Bay with 7:27 remaining in the game, and the Packers on top 30-13. A reminder, you're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Hey, if you threw a party, would Mel Gibson show up? How about Tim Allen? Whitney Houston? Didn't think so. Well, they will tonight when the People's Choice Awards are being live into your living room. Who's America's favorite TV star? Bill Cosby, Jerry Seinfeld? How about movie stars? Demi Moore, Tom Hanks? Invite hosts Don Johnson and Robert Downey into your home and find out. Catch the People's Choice Awards, CBS tonight. It's like having a celebrity wing ding without buying chicken wings.
Even though you're the best, you have to work hard to stay on top. That's the philosophy at Fuller's Car Washes. They're always doing more. Just recently, Fuller's Car Washes added a 7th location in Mokina at 195th and LaGrange Road. Now, if you live, work, and just travel through the Mokina area, you'll be able to take advantage of Fuller's brand new sparkling state-of-the-art soft cloth car wash. In addition to the latest in car washing technology, you'll also receive that good old-fashioned service, the combination that's made Fuller's so popular for over 50 years. This winter, don't let dirt, grime, slush, and that nasty word salt ruin your car's finish. Have it cleaned thoroughly at Fuller's Soft Cloth Full-Service Car Washes. You'll find Fuller's in Hinsdale, Countryside, LaGrange, in Des Plaines, Elk Grove Village, Palos Heights, Westmont, and now Fuller's 7th location open in Mokina at 195th and LaGrange Road. For over 50 years, Fuller's full-service soft cloth car washes have been simply the best.
Back at Lambeau Field, where the ghosts may be exercised. I'm not ready to say that this team of the 96-97 variety of Green Bay is going to erase the memories of the great Packer teams in the past, and nobody's even implying that. The question is, can this team finally have their own identity?
Oh, they have it. I think the Packers of 96 are one step away from starting their own history, and that's that Super Bowl. If they can get that thing done.
Fair catch is called for by Desmond Howard. It hits to the 5, takes a forward roll, and the Panthers could not deflect it. And they had 2 players standing at the goal line, and they could not keep it in the field of play. Michael Bates was one of those back there,
and Dwight Stone was the other. They kind of flopped just right between the two of them.
Looked like one of them seeing-eye ground balls going between the second baseman and the shortstop. Timeout. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
When you do business on the internet, you can gain or lose a lot of customers very quickly.
Jeff Bezos, president of Amazon.com, world's largest online bookstore.
If you disappoint someone, they won't tell a few friends. They'll tell a few thousand. It makes it crucial to work with a computer company that has experience helping people do business on the net. Not to mention the world's fastest servers, like Digital.
Digital, whatever it takes.
It has arrived. The day when you stop listening to the tales of other lives lived and begin the odyssey that will be your story. When you find the destiny to which you were born, all you need to bring with you is your honor, your courage, and your commitment. It's your journey. Make it a good one. Call 1-800-USA-NAVY. Let the journey begin. Paid for by the U.S. Navy. Dead men tell no tales, or do they? Sidetrack with the Discovery Channel into the tombs of ancient Egypt. A clump of human hair, an Egyptian sarcophagus, a bizarre discovery. Were ancient Egyptians major drug addicts? Take the journey this Monday night at 9 Eastern and Pacific to find out with Sidetracks, The Curse of the Cocaine Mummies, only on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
Well, you want to talk about dominance. Packers have run 65 plays. 44 of them have come from the Carolina side of the field. Brett Favre, after starting out 5 of 13, has completed 14 of his last 16 passes for the day. 19 of 29, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the 1 interception. Well, I've often wondered during this week if Rotz would mix with grits.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure you tried them.
I love grits. I don't think there's a food that God's made that I don't like.
Or at least won't try. 30-13, Green Bay. They want to keep it on the ground. Edgar Bennett running to the right and drives across the 20-yard line. Greg Cregan puts him down, and the clock clearly ticking down. And every second is like another mile headed to New Orleans.
How many people are here today?
60,000, let me look, 60,216.
Yeah, you're right, 16. I got it down. I missed that guy. He just came out of the inside. He just came walking back down.
He's the one who had rots and grit.
I got my hands, my shoes are off, my gloves are off. I had to use my feet to get that number.
It's been a great day for the Packers. After trailing 10-7, they have come on like a team that they were supposed to be. Inside handoff to Edgar Bennett. Coming up later today at 3:45 Eastern Time. The Jaguars and the Patriots in Foxborough. Brad Sham and Pat Hayden will have the call. Matt and I will be in New Orleans 2 weeks from today at 5:45 Eastern Time to bring you Super Bowl 31. I don't think there's anybody doubting in this building right now that one of the teams will be wearing green and gold.
Bill Polian, Dom Capers, like you mentioned, have done a great job, along with Mike McCormick, who got the ball rolling down there with Jerry Richardson. This is a team that's not going to go away. I mean, they have some age, and they'll have to address that. But with their young offense, they're going to be pretty darn good.
Dorsey Levens has been one of the stars of the game, running to the right to the 25-yard line, tackled by Kevin Green and Sam Mills. The Packers will go 3 and out, but all they really wanted to do is just wear away some time on the clock, and it still moves with 5.5 minutes to go in the game, and Green Bay on top 30-13.
You know, everything's talked about with Ron Wolf and Mike Holmgren, and they should be. They've done a tremendous job, but the one guy in the background, Bob Harlan, the president of the Green Bay Packers, well, he was the guy who got the ball rolling with those guys, and he's to be commended as well, because he's put together an outstanding front office, and it always starts at the top.
And he just likes to stay in the background.
Yeah, he always does. And he always has, but he's got the right formula.
The punt by Hendrick. Winslow Oliver waving everybody away, fields it on a couple of bounces, and then finally goes to about the 40-yard line. Green Bay Packers, last time they played a championship game, here at Lambeau, the famed Ice Bowl. I want to forget about that memory for now. If you're a Packer fan, your team is on top, the current edition. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
Hello, welcome to the post office.
Hi, I'd like to send a package priority mail, and I need it delivered on Saturday.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We can't actually guarantee delivery on Saturday.
But your commercials promise Saturday delivery for no extra charge.
Oh, no, that's not what we said. What we said is it could show up on Saturday with your regular mail, and if it does, well, we won't charge extra for it.
You mean your Saturday delivery could get there on Monday?
Oh, you bet. Or Tuesday, or even Wednesday.
Thursday?
Yes, sir. But either way, it won't cost you a penny more.
Yeah, but I need it there on Saturday.
And on Saturday, you might get it, friend.
And if it gets there?
You pay nothing extra.
And if it doesn't?
You pay nothing extra, lucky man.
So you're saying your Saturday service is good for nothing?
Why, yes, in a manner of speaking.
No matter what the post office says, when you want true Saturday delivery on Saturday, there's really only one choice, FedEx.
Hey, if I paid extra, could you guarantee it gets there on Saturday?
No, sir. You'll never pay more, regardless of when we don't know it'll arrive.
For reliable Saturday delivery, no one makes your package a priority like FedEx. Today, it's the way the world works.
As Larry sat wedged between the fleshy flyers, staring at the no smoking sign, he kicked himself for having left his Wrigley Spearmint gum in the change tray at the X-ray machine. Suddenly, he remembered he had another stick. Yearning for that cool, clean spearmint taste, he reached into his pocket. Not there. Then he saw it. That stick of pure, chewing satisfaction beckoning him from the cuff of his pant. But his tray table was down, mocking him. When you can't smoke, don't forget your Wrigley Spearmint.
David Matt Millen at Lambeau Field. It's party time in Wisconsin. The Packers on their way to New Orleans. They lead 30-13 with 4:55 remaining. And the Cheeseheads are celebrating. to the tune of Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels.
Devil with the blue dress on.
Well, the blue dress may belong to the devil, but right now the people are wearing green and gold, and they are partying. Collins goes back to pass on first down. Short pass over the middle, dropped by Winslow Oliver. Brian Williams defending on the play. You look at the ring of fame across the way, and you see the names of Lombardi and Starr and Taylor and Nitschke and Willie Davis.
Henry Jordan, Don Hudson, Tony Canadale,
and my favorite name of all time, Johnny Blood McNally. Love that name. That's a name, right? Football name.
Blood McNally. Arnie Herbert. There's some great names here. It's some great tradition, some great fans. And right now, a great football team, their own Green Bay Packers.
And they're writing their own chapter in history in the record books for the Packers. Back to pass. Collins throwing it over the middle. He completes it to Willie Green inside the Green Bay 45. Howard David, Matt Millen at Lambeau, where Kerry Collins trying to get the Panthers on the scoreboard again. Throws it out of the backfield, complete to Winslow Oliver. A nice sure-handed tackle once again by Brian Williams, who has quietly had a very solid day. And you know, it's interesting. You hear the Packer fans cheering and all of that. And while he has not had what you would call a great game because he's not been the man standing out in the middle of the big plays, everybody's screaming Reggie, 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 referring to Reggie White. Penalty on the snap, a false start on Carolina.
Prior to the snap, false start, 70 seconds offense.
But as you were saying, Matt, I mean, that's why the Packers brought Reggie White here, to win a Super Bowl.
And that's why Reggie White said God told him to come here. And he felt in his heart that they could get to the Super Bowl. He felt like Brett Favre could be the best quarterback in the National Football League. And, of course, all the cynics said, yeah, what about the dough they're paying you? And he said, wow, that had something to do with it. He felt in his heart like they could get to the Super Bowl, and he's about to go.
Kerry Collins sacked from behind by Sean Jones, a former Oiler and Raider. McKenzie and Jones. I thought it was Jones 96. It was 95 McKenzie. McKenzie, the rookie from Ball State. What a thrill that is for a rookie to get a sack in a championship game. Collins airing it out, looking for Green, intercepted. Greg Newsome on the return. Down the sidelines of the 40 and finally pulled down out inside the Carolina 50. Right inside the 50-yard line. A 35-yard return. Greg Strepanak makes the tackle. Third turnover. And the Green Bay Packers are celebrating. They've earned it. Mike Holmgren, in talking to Jim McMahon, he said, hey, somebody asked him, who's a better coach? Who's the best coach you ever played for? And he said, Holmgren. Because when he comes into a meeting at 9 o'clock on Monday, he's got a smile on his face as if he's saying, how you guys doing? Let's all have a good work day, etc. He said, now Ditko would come into a meeting and say, all of you guys are fired.
You know, I spoke with McMahon prior to the game, and Jim's always been one of those guys who's had a great feel for his team and where they're at. Some guys have that feel. And I said to him, Jim, what's your gut on this game today? He said, personally, I think we're going to blow them out. He was right.
He was absolutely right. Here's the carry by Edgar Bennett inside the Carolina 40. And now all the Packers are doing is just accentuating the route. Well, your roadway player of the game, what do you think?
Well, Dorsey Levens.
Let's be thinking about it.
Dorsey Levens would be a guy you'd have to consider. I think the offensive line is a guy you have to consider. And the guy who's coming out right now, Brett Favre, you'd also have to consider because when he finally got over his jitters, he was the MVP of this game and the league.
McMahon in the game. Jim McMahon handing it off to Edgar Bennett, who gets a first down. Brent Maxey makes the tackle. The book is closed for today on Favre. 19 of 29, 292 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception thrown. And Jim McMahon in his 15th year from BYU, who has a Super Bowl ring from the 1985 Chicago Bears, comes into the game.
A lot of guys are going to the bowl for the first time. Sean Jones, Eugene Robinson, Brett Favre, Reggie White. You pay your dues, you get there, you play a long time, and I'll tell you, there's nothing more satisfying in the whole wide world when you're in this league than going to the bowl.
Time for the 2-minute warning, sponsored by the 2-in-1 shampoo, Pert Plus, shampoo and conditioner for Simply Great Hair.
Simply.
Oh, that was bad. Try it again. Simply Great Hair.
Simply.
Score is 30-13, Green Bay. You're listening to the NFL playoffs from CBS Radio Sports.
Hello, welcome to the post office.
Hi, I'd like to send a package to Guatemala with your global priority mail service. Now,
I'm sorry, sir. We don't exactly ship global priority mail to Guatemala.
But your commercials say you ship all over the world.
No, actually, their friend, they just say we're global.
Yeah, well, isn't Central America still on the globe?
I wouldn't know, sir. Our global service doesn't go there. Next, please.
Oh, well, wait a second. Can you at least get it close?
Brilliant idea, sir. We do ship around the world.
Oh, okay, so how about South America?
Nope.
Panama? Paraguay?
No.
Mexico?
Not on our globe, Kemosabe.
Well, then, how about Africa?
All right, then. You want to send a package to Africa?
Well, no, not really.
That's okay. We don't go there anyway.
No matter what the post office says, for true global priority service to 211 countries, there's really only one choice, FedEx.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your global service doesn't cover most of the globe?
Well, you know what they say, fella. It's a small world after all. Next, please.
For global service, no one makes your package a priority like FedEx. Today, it's the way the world works.
That's my friend Mike. He's humming because, well, he doesn't want to hear me talking about prostate health there. I said it. Sorry, Mike, but those frequent trips to the bathroom at night? Well, you should know about Propomex. All natural Propomex supports prostate health. 2 a day, and in about 4 weeks, you'll start seeing results. Satisfaction guaranteed or money back, Mike. Propomex, the natural choice for prostate health at food, health, and drug stores. Learn more. Call 888-439-8300. You listening, Mike? Propomex. Use as directed.
I see a lot of people that put up with scratch lenses.
Lens Crafters optician, Tracy Sylvester.
A scratch lens means they're not seeing properly, and for me, that's a real problem. Lens Crafters DuraLens can help make that problem go away. No other plastic lens is more scratch resistant than a DuraLens. Only Lens Crafters has DuraLens brand lenses, and even these will be ready in about an hour. DuraLens has helped me help people see better. I feel really good about that.
Lens Crafters, helping people see better, 1 hour at a time.
McMahon takes the snap, goes down on one knee. And the Panthers taking a timeout. And we will too. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
And now Art Donovan on Roadway Inn's business amenities.
Hey, that reminds me of a story. We were playing New York, and this guy was really giving me the business. So next time we're under the pile, I stuck a big wad of mud down his pants.
Excuse me, Art.
Seen the guy.
Art, we wanted you to discuss how Roadway makes it easier to travel on business with free local phone calls and free newspapers, and that you can reserve a room by calling 1-800-228-2000.
Hey, why do I look like an announcer? Anyway,
Roadway Inn, all along the way.
Carolina's defense allowed a season-high 467 yards today and a season-high for the Packer offense as well. Dorsey Levin's our roadway player of the game. Levin's 10 carries, 88 yards, 5 receptions for 117, 29 of those on one play for a touchdown. Total of 205 yards from scrimmage. Roadway features new choice rooms and a 30% discount for seniors. Roadway all along the way.
And he just got himself a big hug from the minister of defense who's crying his eyes out.
There goes Edgar Bennett on the run inside the 25-yard line.
That's the game right there.
Puts one knee down, goes into prayer. And it's like he's just given this game an amen. 30-13, Green Bay, timeout. You're listening to the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports.
One phone call can change your life insurance, that is. Call your State Farm agent to make an appointment to review your life insurance coverage, especially if there have been any significant changes, like a new house or another child. Those are strong indicators that your life insurance needs to be updated. And that's what your State Farm agent is there for, to help you find a plan that's right for your family right now.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Good for them. Let them enjoy it.
Yeah, the Packers are enjoying it indeed. There's no doubt about it. You heard of the old Super Bowl shuffle the Bears did in '85?
What a great scene.
Well, there's a cheese dance going on out in Lambeau. They are all celebrating. The players, the fans. It's difficult if you're a Carolina player to witness it. But coaches will tell you, stand out here and watch it because this is where you want to be.
There's not a better feeling in the whole world when you're a player in this league than what they're getting right now. The only thing that can top it is if they do it in New Orleans. Like I said, a lot of times, this is more exciting than anything. You win the championship game, and for the first time, you realize you're going. And you're Mike Holmgren, and you're your head coach, and Fritz Shermer, the defensive coordinator, who's never been there, and Reggie White, and Sean Jones, and Eugene Robinson.
Sherman Lewis, the offensive coordinator, who's rumored to be in line for a couple of jobs around the league. It's been a great day for 80,000 people that live in this community, and it seems like they're all here. But they have trekked their way from all over the state. They have trekked their way from Milwaukee and all over the state of Wisconsin to pay tribute to their Green Bay Packers that are going to go to the Super Bowl for the first time since 1968.
What a great scene. And not to diminish what Carolina has done in just 2 years. And there's a huge upside. And then your heart goes out for a guy like Sam Mills, who's played his heart out, for 13 years. And Kevin Green. And
here's the last snap. They won't have to snap it again. The Packers have beaten the Panthers. The final score in our CBS Radio Sports broadcast of the NFC Championship game. The Green Bay Packers 30. The Carolina Panthers 13. Let's give our stations a chance for a message, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Are you still a smoker? Would you like to quit? I'm Karen Ross, and I know. I smoked for 30 years. I had tried to quit many times and failed, but now I'm a non-smoker thanks to Medicalm S. And many others are succeeding with Medicalm S. Here are just a few.
Hi, I'm Susie Haverkamp. Prior to Medicalm S, I had tried to quit smoking probably 300 times. Medicalm really is a great name because it does calm you down.
My name is Mary Lowe. Before, when I attempted to quit smoking, I gained 20 pounds. But with Medicalm S, I did not feel any increase in appetite or in weight gain.
If you want to become a non-smoker, I believe that Medicalm S will help you like it helped us.
If you're making a New Year's resolution to quit smoking, congratulations. Choosing to quit is the first step in the right direction. Now call Medicalm S at 1-800-923-CALM. Medicalm S contains no nicotine and has a money-back guarantee. Let Medicalm S help you keep your New Year's resolution. Call 1-800-923-CALM.
The turbulent 60s, the last time the Packers won a Super Bowl. They'll get another chance in the 90s. You've been listening to the broadcast of the NFC Championship game from CBS Radio Sports, where our score today from Green Bay was the Packers 30, the Carolina Panthers 13, which means the Green Bay Packers will travel to the Super Bowl for the first time in 30 years against either New England or Jacksonville. Today's game has been sponsored by Propalmex, by the State Farm Insurance Companies, and by Roadway Inns. Thanks to our engineer in the booth, Ed Murphy, spotter Michael Smith, our statistician Pat McGrath, Bill Severa, our producer, and working with us in our New York studios, our coordinator Frank Lanza, our studio engineer Arthur the Star, pregame and halftime producer Howie Dederoth, and the executive producer of CBS Radio Sports is Frank Murphy. Coming up next, the Jacksonville Jaguars take on the New England Patriots in Foxborough, where Brad Sham and Pat Hayden call the game, starting at 3:45 Eastern. And then 2 weeks from today, be sure to join Matt Millen and me as we bring you the broadcast of Super Bowl 31 from New Orleans, Sunday, January 26th at 5:45 Eastern Time. Once again, the final score from Green Bay was the Packers 30, the Panthers 13. For Matt Millen and Jim Hunter, I'm Howard David. So long, everybody, for CBS.